And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we got quite a few elections to cover. New York, New Jersey, California, Minneapolis, etc. Some are surprised that Republicans didn't do very well, but I'm sitting here like, how are you surprised that Republicans did not do well in California and New York and Virginia, which is a blue state? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we got President Trump on CBS 60 Minutes. Amazing interview after he was able to get 16 M's, as a cool kid say, $16 million from CBS after their disastrous Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview. You got some Democrats trying to probe him for the interview, like they were trying to hide something similar to what happened to Kamala, but no such thing happened. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Transformers in the gym have got to stop. Enough is enough is enough is enough. We got a young lady going viral. What happens when you have a bulldagger lesbian coming in contact with a transformer? Whose rights supersede whose? It should be about human rights. It should be about common sense. But when you get into the LGBTQ element of P confusion, you don't know which way is up and which way is down. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a lot going on here with these elections. And the reactions I'm seeing from some people, and I can't even really name names because I've witnessed quite a few reactions, and I don't know all of who said what. I know we're going to cover Vivek Ramaswamy. He said something that kind of encapsulates a lot of what I've seen. But my question to anyone, to everyone is, why would anybody be surprised that California was able to succeed in California as far as the whole redistricting thing? Why would anybody be surprised that Zohran Mamdani won New York City? I told y'all he was going to win. Didn't I say that? Like, haven't I been making videos about this guy? Haven't I been saying that that's going to happen? Why is anybody surprised? And I said here on this live stream and on my Instagram live stream to you guys who were there last night, shout out to you. And if you don't know, I'm live every Tuesday on the Instagram at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to about whenever I feel like it's time to put a pause on it. But I've said it everywhere that Zohran is going to win and that it has to happen because New Yorkers need to experience that. They need to, because we could talk to be blue in the face, right? We could say, hey, it's not going to work. Communism has been tried and failed over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But sometimes people don't learn something until they have something happen. Just like what I was saying last night. It's like dealing with little kids. That's what I feel like I do all the time. I'm talking to like adults or the children still. Okay, you telling the kids to not touch the stove because the stove is hot and it's going to burn them. Hey, don't touch that stove. It's hot. You're going to get burnt. It's going to hurt. So don't touch the stove. What do the kids do? Put their hand right on the stove, touch it, play around with it. Get burnt up. If it's me and like I got a kid and they do that, I'm going to be like, see, that's what you get. Ain't going to be no comforting. No, I told you don't do it and you did it and you got burnt. It's your fault. Sometimes these adults, quote unquote adults, have to get burned figuratively in order for them to learn. So this is what's going to happen. Now, what I don't want to see is a bunch of New York plates down in Tennessee who voted for Zohran. I don't want to see any Zohran voters below the Mason-Dixon line, which is the border between Pennsylvania and Maryland. I don't want to see none of y'all come down here at all. And really, for real, y'all need to just stay right there in New York. Stay right there. when you really experience communism, when you really experience the policies he wants to implement, free this, free this, free that, when you experience austerity because you're going to have a lower tax base, when you experience that, listen, just tough it out. Pardon me. Just tough it out, deal with it because you voted for it. I'm not the one to take that away from you. I'm not the one to take away your guy to interfere with your election results. Y'all voted for him fair and square. Now you got to experience them. Have fun. Enjoy. And before I get too deep into it, I just want to say something about Curtis Lewa. Some are trying to blame Curtis Lewa. I'm like, for what though? Why you want to blame Curtis Lewa for Zoran winning? The difference between Zoran and Cuomo was greater than all the votes that Sliwa got by like 750. So even if every single Curtis Sliwa vote went to Cuomo rather than Zoran, Cuomo still would have lost. It would have been a tight margin, but he still would have lost. And I don't think even half of the Sliwa votes would have gone to Cuomo anyway. Those people voted for Sliwa because he was an option that they wanted to vote for. If not for Sliwa, it would have been no option. You got two Democrats running. You know, the funny part, this is a prime example of what I'm talking about, because some say, look, ABL, we only got two parties. It's two wings of the same bird, that same old. Anybody that say that, I know you dumb anyway, but I'm getting triggered. People say they want a third party, as it like, which is so silly because you got two main parties, Democrat, Republican, but there are more than two parties in this country. You got the Green Party, you got independents, you got the Libertarians, you got all types of parties in the country. They're just not big parties. And to be totally honest, most Americans are going to be binary. They're going to be red, blue. That's how they're going to be. When you get into red, green, when you can get to red, green, and blue, they're like, what's the green about? I don't know what that is. Give me the red or the blue. But a lot of people say we want more than two parties. But then when it's only one party on the stage, some of those same people say, well, why is the third guy there? Make it make sense. Look, the election should have been between Zoran Mamdani and Curtis Sliwa because Cuomo lost a primary against Mamdani. What made him think that he was going to lose the primary and then win the general against the same guy he lost the primary to? It didn't make any sense. The strategy of losing the primary but still getting a nomination is not going to work. They did that with Kamala. She lost her primary in 2020 and it wasn't even close. She got stomped into wine in 2020. But somehow they thought, you know what? Okay, we know she lost, but let's set her up to run in 2024. If she lost her primary and she becomes vice president and her president is not very popular, then why would she be able to succeed after not being voted for in the primary as a nominee? It didn't make any sense. And it didn't make any sense here. The same exact result was going to happen. And as far as Virginia is concerned, Virginia is a blue state. I'm from Virginia. I know about Virginia. I'm seeing all kind of crazy takes talking about Winsome Earl Sears had bad messaging. She ran a bad campaign. She wasn't MAGA enough. Y'all don't know anything. You cannot be a MAGA in Virginia because of Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia is where the government is. Northern Virginia and outside of Maryland and outside of DC and Maryland, but mostly in Northern Virginia. Alexandria, Fairfax, that's all government people. So how are you going to be a MAGA who ran a whole campaign on shrinking the size of government? How are you going to be a MAGA who they hate with all their heart and soul? When you see some of these protests in Virginia against Trump, it's always in Northern Virginia. That's where they're going to be. Plus you have, like I said, shrinking the size of the government and the government shutdown. They want to blame on Trump, although it's not his fault. How are you going to attach yourself to him and succeed? Furthermore, how are you going to actually win in Virginia as a Republican right now in 2025? It didn't matter who it was. I was surprised to see Glenn Youngkin became the governor when he became the governor. I was surprised at that. I was like, wow, That was amazing. It would have been the same kind of surprise for me if Winsome Earl Sears won. Furthermore, Winsome Earl Sears does not like Trump, even if she wanted to support him. She's not a fan of Trump. She said on TV that I cannot support him. She said that in 2020 and in 2024. What was the outcome we expected from that? We're hopeful that Winsome Earl Sears would win. We would like Winsome Earl Sears to win. We're hopeful that Curtis Lewa would win. We would want Curtis Lewa to win, I would suppose. But reality says that's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen in 2025. Now, maybe when Virginia and New York City and et cetera get into dire straits and they become desperate, like how they were in 1970s New York, 1980s with the crack era, and they had to bring a Giuliani to clean it up. Maybe when they become Gotham City and there's no Batman, they might call on the Republican guy to be the proverbial Batman for the city. But not until then. That's just the situation happening. And again, Virginia, I watched it as a child go from a red state to a blue state. First it was red, solid red. Then it became purple. Then it became blue. And the biggest issue here are the government jobs is the size of Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia has expanded quite a bit. And the bigger that gets, the bluer Virginia gets. 1/3 of the state's population is right there in about 2 to 3 counties. Okay, Alexandria, Loudoun, Fairfax, it's all right there. And they dictate the way the state goes. A lot of state politics comes straight from across the Potomac. That's how it works in Virginia. It is what it is. Rich men north of Richmond. That's what Northern Virginia is. We forgot that song, didn't we? That's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, purple. You know, hey, Monet, if you mix red and blue, what color you get? You got to go all the way back to the kindergarten. Okay, kids, mix colors together. let's get orange. What makes orange? Red and what makes orange? Red and yellow. Are we going back to that, Monet? Anyway, that is the reality. And as far as California stopping Prop 50, how you going to do that in a place that's dominated by the left? How are you going to do that in California? You expect to succeed in California? Make it make sense. That's like trying to stop Texas from doing what they did with redistricting. How are you going to stop them from doing that in the red state? The reactions that seem surprised and trying to give tips and finger pointing just seem kind of out of the. It seems weird to me. I don't really understand. Golf and Gun says, I lived in Old Town Alexandria, Virginia. It was nice. Oh, it's nice up there. Nice and expensive. Nice and expensive. Nice and liberal. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. But yeah, that's what's happening. And then what else? Okay, well, the bright side is in Minneapolis, the Somali pirate dude did not succeed. And we got the Emmanuel Macron crone in there, a.k.a. Jacob Fry. So I guess that's a good thing. Hey, you guys are funny. I was reading the comments to my Zoran video, the election results video. And somebody said, well, we won in Minneapolis. Since when was Jacob Fry one of us? But I guess that's close enough, right? Close enough. Emmanuel Macron type individual, a Democrat, who's not as bad as the Somali pirate. You know, I'm the captain now. At least that didn't happen. But still, you got. I'm not really ready to, shake no maracas at Jacob Fry in Minneapolis. That's not really a beacon of American exceptionalism in Minneapolis. Unfortunately, if you're living out there in Minneapolis, I apologize. I'm not trying to attack you, but you know what I'm saying is true. You know what I'm saying is true. I got some issues up there. Okay. I never once in my life thought, you know what I want to do for vacation? Go to Minneapolis. And I never thought that, to actually go there for a vacay. Maybe I would go to a place in Minnesota, go to one of them 18 million lakes they got, but Minneapolis, I'm good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm good. So but you guys let me know. Did you really think that the results were going to be anything other than what they were? people want to blame Curtis Lewa. How you gonna blame Curtis Lewa for Andrew Cuomo losing when, let's not forget about Andrew Cuomo having all that baggage. First of all, Andrew Cuomo, you've been in politics for a very long time. You're getting kind of long in the tooth. What, since the 80s, 90s? You've been around for a long time. You got the sexual harassment allegations. Then you have the whole COVID nursing home death situation. You've kind of worn out your welcome in New York City and in New York State. And you lost a primary. That's the thing. Like, you didn't succeed in the primary. It wouldn't have been any different come election time. It's just simple as that. Again, if you take all the votes that Curtis Lewa got, every single vote that Curtis Lewa got, and you give them to Andrew Cuomo, he still would have been short. So it don't even matter. Okay. Pink Salt says, where was our Trump's candidate for New York mayor? I mean, who could Trump actually support that would succeed? What, you wanted to support Andrew Cuomo, who still lost? No, nobody was going to win other than Zohran Mamdani. Nobody was going to win other than him. I think people who are very smart understood what the situation was. They knew that New York City was vulnerable and open, so they put that guy in there, another actor just like AOC. They put him in there to succeed, and that's what happened. And now you'll be just like London with Sadiq Khan for the past 10 years. And I warned y'all about Sadiq Khan in 2015. And here he is still to this day. People are complaining, oh, people are getting assaulted every day. This is going on, that's going on. But they still vote for him. So I say let them have whatever they want. But a lot of things that are in New York, a lot of what I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a shift away from these old cities that were once the beacon of civilization in the world. New York, LA, Chicago, they're declining. They're still the top cities. But over time, if we keep going in this direction, with the birth rate being the way it is, with the migrants coming in, with bad, idiotic, moronic policy, not based on any kind of actual reality, as long as that keeps happening, you're going to see a gradual decline of all these major cities. And you're going to see a resurgence to the South. You're going to see Atlanta get bigger, Charlotte, Dallas, Houston, Austin. Florida's going to be the new California. Hopefully not in the way of every crack smoker in the world wanting to live there, but you understand what I'm saying. It's going to be a lot of business, a lot of money in Florida, the more than what it is now, which is already very economically viable, but it'll be on the level of California because businesses are going to leave, people are going to leave. And the thing about taxing the rich are not going to want to get taxed. Furthermore, 80% of the millionaires in New York are self-made, and we'll get to that in a little later. But you're getting rid of the entrepreneurs, those who say, you know what, I want to embody the American spirit. I want to go out there, make something happen. I want to employ people. I want to improve my community. You want to punish them for their success? Okay, check it out. Now I'm going to Florida. Now I'm going to Tennessee. That's what's happening. But like I said, to all the Mamdani voters, don't come anywhere south of the Mason-Dixon line. Do not come to Tennessee or Virginia or North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Texas. Don't come nowhere over here. Just stay on Manhattan Island. Stay right there. Okay, and just have at it. Or go upstate somewhere. Go bury yourself in the igloo for the wintertime, like how y'all be doing up there in upstate New York, and just enjoy your life. Matter of fact, don't even do that, because I don't want to subject upstate New York to the ridiculousness of New York City. So don't go nowhere. Just stay in your mom's basement or in your Roach Motel you live at right now in Midtown Manhattan. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, Tahonga says, I'm very disappointed in my home state of Virginia. I mean, I understand your disappointment, but how can you be surprised? How can you be surprised? All right. So, yeah, let me see. Hold on. I'm reading some of these comments here. Very soon in New York City, they'll be eating the cats. Is that it? They'll be eating the cats. shout out to New York City. You know, I don't wish harm on them, but I mean, they voted for what they voted for. I support their right to vote for whoever they want. They got the right to vote. It's not up to me to choose their mayor, to choose their leadership, but I know what's going to happen. I already see, like, they're already done that. They've already done what they're trying to do right now. Communism, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't work. You could go to any country around the world where they tried it, and it'd be the same exact story in the end. AMG says New York City used to be the fashion capital of the U.S., not anymore. That disappeared when the production jobs were offshored to overseas factories, hundreds of thousands of jobs lost. Oh, yeah. All of that is done. I don't even know what New York City is anymore at this point. It's a big city, but like, what is coming out of New York? What are they producing? What are they doing that they are exceptionally good at? That's what I want to know. Okay, because as far as I see, you got a really big place with a lot of people in one condensed area. You got rich people and you got poor people and you got drugs. I don't know. I'm not a New Yorker, so please pardon my ignorance, but y'all let me know. It's an international hub, yes, for sure. But what are they producing that's going to help them maintain the status as the top city in the world? Because again, like I said, if you're looking at the top countries, you got 3 in the world: U.S., China, and Russia, in that order. Those are the top 3. Anybody got any other countries you want to put right there? Let me know. But those are the top 3 countries in the world: USA, China, Russia. As far as influence, military power, money, everything. The top city in the USA, or the top cities in the USA, the top 3 are New York, LA, and Chicago, in that order. So New York is the top city and the top country in the world. For how much longer? For how much longer? I don't know how long that lasts. When you are flushing out the tax base, and any kind of reasonable, rational person who is able to leave, and you put in a bunch of communist ideals that will just suck the remaining money out of those who left, what are you going to be left with? What are you going to be left with? Who knows? So yeah, shout out to them. You know, hopefully everything works out, but I don't really see how it's going to, I don't really see how this whole thing pans out. And in Virginia, man, Abigail Spanberger, that's hilarious. That is so funny. That is too funny, man. I think they may go a different direction politically in Virginia when the size of the government shrinks down to a reasonable size. There's so many government jobs. There's so many ways to make money from the government in Virginia. Government contractors and consultants and this and that and this and that. It's just so much going on. Okay, it is so much happening. And it's all linked to the government. Make the government smaller, reduce the size of the government, and then you'll see a difference. You'll most certainly see a difference in a place like New York City. And in Virginia, pardon me, in Virginia, you see a big difference in a place like Virginia when we reduce the size of the government, because Northern Virginia will not be able to be as big as what it is. Saved by Grace says, Virginia governor, never heard of her. Mom Donnie, whatever his name is, never heard of him until recently. LOL, money won, bruh. Huh? Well, I mean, the money, but you still got to be able to put somebody out there. You can't just put money behind somebody and have that be what wins, because we saw that with Kamala. We saw that with Hillary Clinton. We saw with Hillary Clinton, what was that, in 2016? She had double the money that Trump had and still got stomped out. So sometimes money ain't enough. Money is going to be a contributing factor, of course, but it can't always be enough. It's not always going to be enough. I'm sure that Andrew Cuomo had plenty of money to be able to give to his campaign. I'm sure he had plenty of donors willing to work with him, but it wasn't going to be enough. It wasn't going to be enough. Cuomo has won a lot already in New York. He can do it, but he just did not have enough. He didn't have enough juice to be able to make it go all the way forward. Spencer T says, I'm in North Minneapolis, and I guess we won. Jacob Plant from Washington. Fry won. Yay. I saw that comment in one of my, I saw that comment earlier on my election wrap-up video. Somebody said we won. Counting Jacob Fry as one of us. It's like, all right. I guess that's what we're doing now, right? We counting guys that are super left-wing and Democrat as a success story, because at least he's not the Somali pirate. At least he's not him. We could take that victory all the way to the bank, I suppose. But, hey, God bless you in Minneapolis, man. It couldn't be me. Minneapolis, it's too cold. I don't like the cold. I like being hot. It's like 80 degrees in here right now. I'm exaggerating, but it is hot. And the violence, the crime, the extra stuff, I'm good. I am totally good. All right. I'm reading some of the comments, and then I'm going to keep rocking and rolling. Hold on. Marta Allen says, I was in New York 25 years ago. The Maury Povich show reunited me with my sister after 13 years. Wow. That's crazy. For real, that happened to you for real? Hey, you guys have some very interesting lives. Shout out to you. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Before I go any further, y'all know you guys are the #1 sponsor of the show. So shout out to you for watching, retweet, and super chat, and whatever you do. You know I couldn't do the show without you. But also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description box, or go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, the t-shirts, the stickers, the hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and you'll be able to find articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, the long form, and in each article, I got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're speaking with me, if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not, unless you send me an email at contact@anthonyblogan.com. Again, contact@anthonyblogan.com. The email is always on the website. Easy to remember. If you can't, go to the website. It's right there. Unless you contact me and I respond, you're not talking to me. I don't know about Bitcoin. I don't know about Forex. I don't know about no gift cards. I don't know about nothing. So please don't get scammed in 2025. You already know who it's going to be. It's going to be Apu from Quickie Mart talking about hello, come again. He going to get you straight blindfolded. He going to get you. It's going to be Boris and Natasha. If he dies, he dies. Over in Eastern Europe. It's going to be a guy with 18 A's in his first name over in Lagos, Nigeria. Call their phone right now and give me the number. I don't have time for this nonsense. It's going to be that guy hollering at you on the phone, trying to get your hard-earned monies into his pocket to spend on fufu and jollof rice and everything else. But again, all my information is right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Let's get to the races and whatnot. Let's get to a few reactions and interviews. Oh man, listen. I've been showing y'all a lot of street interviews of these people, and you can hear how they sound. You can hear how not intellectual they are. So that right there alone should have just gave you a clue about the results of this election before the results came out, right? Here we got Trump reacting to what's going on. All right, let's go ahead and keep rocking.
And last night, it was, not expected to be a victory. It was very Democrat areas, but I don't think it was good for Republicans. I don't think it was good. I'm not sure it was good for anybody. But we had an interesting evening, and we learned a lot. And we're going to talk about that, and I'll say a few remarks, and then after that I'll ask the press to leave. The press has been very, very nice to us the last couple of months. They were great to us in terms of the foreign visits with China, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia.
Now, I'm not sure we learned that much, though, Trump. I'm not sure we learned that much because, again, these are left-leaning or straight-up leftist places. California, New York. What did we really learn? We learned that these places are solid blue. Virginia is a blue place. The thing, and I saw a graph. I can't find the graph. If I had it, I'll throw it on the screen for you guys. But I saw a graph. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to find it. Hold on. The graph said that not every, but the majority, if not every county in Virginia shifted blue this election. Let me see if I can find it. But if that happened, okay, there we go. This is from Frank Luntz. And he says every single county in Virginia shifted blueward tonight. All right, let me put it on the screen for you guys. And here we go. So, boom. Now, you see a lot of these places up here. Let me see if I can't even, but it's kind of hard to see. Matter of fact, let's do this. Okay, there we go. Big brain. So Loudoun, Prince William, that's Northern Virginia. And you see how many people are up there? You see how many votes are up there? These are both in Northern Virginia. That's DC bedroom. Of course, they're going to go really high for the Democrat because of all the jobs, all the government jobs. Now, Portsmouth, that's funny how they got a lot of people that went to Spanberger. Portsmouth shouldn't even be up there. That's a small little place. That's where I was kind of raised a little bit. That's like in Hampton Roads. That's not in Northern Virginia. I think maybe they went that way because I know a friend of mine is a big campaigner out there. So shout out to her. I ain't gonna say your name. I'm gonna show her because there was a video floating around of the guy with the funny text, Jay, like playing with a dog and like almost kicking it. Yeah, that was my friend and her dog. So that's her work. So shout out to you. You did it. You did something for yourself, but I don't think that was the right thing to do. Okay. A lot of these other spots, they're like in other parts, random Powhatan. This is like middle of nowhere. Harrisonburg, again, that's Northern Virginia, Dinwiddie, Manassas, Louisa. That's all, even Orange, that's kind of up there. I think Orange is like Charlottesville. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Orange County, VA. And that is, that's like in between Charlottesville and Fredericksburg. And Culpeper, that's Northern Virginia as well. Fairfax, of course, Northern. Fredericksburg to me, that's like the gateway of the North. Once you're going up 95, you go hit Fredericksburg before you get to the rest of Northern Virginia. That's like the line of demarcation between the southern part and the northern part of Virginia. King William, all of that, like this is all like northern stuff. Okay, this is all northern stuff. It's not every single county in Virginia, not in the least bit, but that's quite a bit though. There's no surprise there. Okay, no surprise. Chesterfield turn 2. I mean, not surprised. Now, Wise, that's kind of interesting because that's way far away. Okay. Although it went for Winston Merle Sears by a lot, it still shifted. But Wise, that's like almost Tennessee. That's like almost Kentucky, actually. That's like in a little, I'm going to show you where Wise is. Hold on. Let me see if I can just pull it up. Yeah, I'm going to show you. Matter of fact, hold on. This is a good map that'll show you where Wise is. Matter of fact, hold on. Wise VA map. Yeah, that'll work. That we could do it like this. Okay. Perfect. You see where the red place is? Okay, like way over there. That's like right here, you're getting into Kentucky, you're getting into Tennessee. Like right there, that's like Bristol, Virginia, and Bristol, Tennessee. It's like right there. So that's way far away. Northern Virginia is like this up here. Like right up here. And then where I'm from is like over there. Okay. All the government power lives in the north. So for why is half a shift? That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Hatfield and McCoy. Yeah, West Virginia is right there as well. Matter of fact, let me just pull up the regular map so you guys can see. Let me pull up a regular map so you guys can see what's going on. Hold on. I got too much. Matter of fact, I might not be able to do that. It's too much stuff showing. It's like, wait a minute. It's too much stuff showing. I don't got to do all that map stuff, but you get the idea of what's happening. Let me keep rocking and rolling here. Let's show Vivek. Okay, I'm going to move forward. Let's show Vivek because this is part of what I was talking about. People pointing the finger. Oh, well, we lost because of this and that and the third. Let's hear from Vivek and hear what he got to say. And then I'll just kind of break down what he's talking about.
We got our asses handed to us in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City. Democrats swept all three. There's two key lessons for Republicans. Listen carefully. Number one, our side needs to focus on affordability. Make the American dream affordable. Bring down costs, electric costs, grocery costs, healthcare costs, and housing costs, and lay out how we're going to do it. And number two, cut out the identity politics. It doesn't suit Republicans. It's not for us. That's the woke left's game, not ours. We don't care about the color of your skin or your religion. We care about the content of your character. That's who we are. We got our asses.
Okay, Vivek, you see, this right here is why I don't really count you in the running to become the president. See? There's some things you said right there that I caught that maybe some other people didn't catch. One thing you said I want to talk about right now before I forget. One thing you said was about, oh, we don't play identity politics. Where did that come from, Vivek? I think maybe you reading some of these online comments about you being an Indian and some of the jokes, hello, come again, all of that. You're talking about that. You're getting offended that people are talking about your race. But you got to understand, Vivek, we come from a country where it's based on race. It started on race. So that is a wound that's still healing. And you are someone who came here recently and you wanting to try to dictate to us how we gonna operate. We've been here hundreds of years. It's like if I go to India and tell y'all what to do, what would I be? It's the same thing that we see from you. You understand what I'm saying? That's kind of what's going on. So it's not necessarily about you being brown or whatever. It's about you not really totally getting what's happening in America, in our humble opinion. That's number one. But number two, nothing that you're talking about would have made a difference. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter because these states are the way they are. I've witnessed this throughout my entire life as a child in Virginia growing up. When I was a little boy, I used to watch the news. I'm 8 years old watching the news, literally. Like I'm a 40-year-old man. That's why I say I'm old. Because when I was young, I was old. When I was young, like 8, 9 years old, I'm reading the Bible front to back. I'm watching the news. I'm doing that stuff just on my own without even having to be prompted. When I was a child, I was asking questions. What does it mean to be a red state? What does it mean to be a blue state? From about 8 years old, I witnessed Virginia be a red state. And every time I would watch the news about the election time, it'd stay red. It might be a little blip here and there. Then it became purple, where it might kind of go either way. Then it became solid blue. I knew that 10, 15 years ago that it was solid blue. This ain't nothing new. Why are you surprised? So, hey, man, see, you don't really get it. You don't really get the finger on the pulse of the people. Sometimes you say things that make sense, like the whole thing about Americans wanting to work or whatever, but you don't really get the full story. You get a piece of it, but you don't get the full picture. And I think that rather than trying to whack their finger, you should listen to us. Listen to what we got to say to get the full picture of what's going on. But yeah, shout out to Vivek, though. I appreciate you for giving your 2 cents on the matter, but I think that you're incorrect. You're incorrect. Now, these are your choices, or these were your choices for the mayor of Minneapolis. And RIP in advance to the headphone users. I know that was a loud noise right there. I apologize for that. But you see, you got Jacob Fry on the left, and Jacob Fry did win, okay? On the right, you have Omar Fateh, that's his name.
Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Hanulato!
Somalia, Hiran State, Mawisle.
Somalia Hanulato!
So I guess it's not as bad, right? I mean, they both kind of on the same page a little bit, but this guy over here, I'm getting scammer vibes. I'm getting scammer vibes. I'm getting you don't know what's going on vibes. You're not totally American vibes. It's one thing to be an immigrant over here and you're trying to learn what it's like to be an American. You're trying to learn what it's like to be us, and that's totally fine. I think that should be an opportunity everyone has to come over here legally and become one of us. But when you're over here and you're sticking to your previous culture and you want to seek political office, I'm not sure how you square the two. How do you keep your culture from your country of origin and lead Americans who don't share your culture all the time? Maybe people in your community that are Somali share your culture. What about the entirety of your city? You might be a good house rep for your community, but as a mayor of a big city like Minneapolis, you can't just be the leader of your community. You got to be a leader of the entire city. So, you're not ready for it at all. And again, Jacob Fry, if you were to say, you know what, ABL, who would you want to vote to become the president who's currently in office in this country? Mayor, governor, senator, whatever. I would never in your lifetime or my lifetime say Jacob Fry. But I guess it's a victory because we didn't get if he dies, he dies. I mean, not if he dies, he dies. I'm the captain now. Anyway, shout out to Jacob Fry out there in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, this is a clip from Tim Cash. Shout out to Tim Pool. Hey, Tim, you got to do it again, man. I'm going to come back to Maryland. Well, West Virginia, but it was Maryland. I'm going to come back to Maryland and do that podcast again, man. I really enjoyed myself. This lady's talking about the demographics of the Zohran Mamdani voter in New York City.
So his constituencies were Muslims, South Asians, and then these 20 to 30 something overeducated, over-credentialed, downwardly mobile hipsters in Bushwick and Brooklyn who think they're the working class because they failed to get like amazing jobs and have student loan from getting, degree upon degree upon degree. They have enormous contempt for labor. And as a result, they want things from the government despite Tim being like the most privileged people on planet Earth. And Mamdani is their avatar. This is a guy who's like a total Nepo baby, never worked a day in his life, lives off his parents, but makes it seem cool, right? Like it's cool to like live off your parents, be a total failure if you can make great content for social. They don't actually want him to do any of this stuff. They would never dream of shopping in an Aldi. Forget about a free supermarket. These are people who spend $12 on a cold brew. Okay, Tim, it's all one big virtue signal. They feel like the government should pay them to make their shitty podcasts. And this is just a protest vote for them.
So you know what? Hey, she nailed it. She's right on the money. These people voted that way as a protest vote, or they think that the things he's talking about really come true. And, I think more people who voted for him believe what he's saying, and actually, I think it's going to come true. More of them believe what he's saying than don't. For real, they think that it's actually possible for that to happen, for everything to be free, and they think not only is it possible for everything to be free, it's going to be high quality as well. But we all know how it goes. If you are 15 years old and you don't know anything, and you might look at Zohran like a Santa Claus. Okay, and when we were small children, the idea of a fat white man with a beard coming into our chimney, look, we had no chimney, we ain't in an apartment, but somehow I thought a fat white man came into my house some kind of way and dropped some gifts off when I'm like 2 years old. Once you get to be an adult, these things don't make any sense, but a lot of these people are still like children, and they believe that Santa Claus is going to come true. He's going to drop off gifts and toys and whatnot for the free, and nobody got to pay for it. That's what they think. Maybe they were never given that talk as a kid about Santa Claus and what's really going on. But anyway, so yeah, shout out Santa Claus. If you still believe, hey, I'm right there with you. This is going to be Deadly Wire.
However,
we got Ben Shapiro and Anna from Young Turks. Now, Anna from Young Turks, this is really interesting, actually. I want to just play this. I don't want to say too much before I play it.
However, there have been reports indicating that if Mamdani wins, there's as many as 1 million New Yorkers who want to leave the city, which they would actually help him out because
why do you think I'm investing heavily in luxury real estate in Palm Beach? Like, come on down, guys. And if you want to open a business in Nashville or in Florida, where we are located, we can help you set up your business application in a zero tax state.
But that would help. That would help Mamdani. I mean, accomplish lower housing costs because that's lower demand.
Tax base, but sure.
However, there have been reports.
Yeah. So Anna, you're trying to like put two and two together, but it's not really getting the four. Ben was able to say, well, look. Okay, you're going to have more free housing, but the people who left are who you want to actually be there. What we as conservatives want to do with the whole ICE deportation thing is to eliminate those who are here illegally, and the housing they free up will now be available to Americans. We don't want to get rid of the actual productive, legal people in this country. We want to get rid of the illegal aliens, many of whom are not here doing productive things, many of whom are on our welfare benefits. I told you the numbers. $450 billion per year you and not a taxpayer in America pay for illegal aliens. That was the last number in 2024. $450 billion a year that we pay for healthcare and all kind of services. The case in Springfield, Ohio with the Haitians, shout out to the Haitians. The case of the illegal alien Haitians just coming here to work, slave labor, they cost the taxpayers of Springfield a lot of money because, okay, they can't drive and they're given licenses when they have no license. You understand? So they go to DMV and they pass a sheet of paper from a lawyer, probably speaking Latin and Chinese and everything else. Okay, I got this from a lawyer. Boom. They're able to get a car with no license. They can't drive. They drive crazy, causing accidents, causing the insurance rate to triple. And then they come here sick, HIV, all kind of stuff, and they go into the hospital for free to have kids, for free to get treatment. There are so many things that come with importing people who are not Americans, who are here illegally, that we got to pay for as American citizens. And then the elite say, well, you guys don't want to work and you lazy, so we're going to bring them in. Okay, we're lazy. We don't want to work, but you want us to pay for it? Oh, make that make sense. Make that make sense. But anyway, yeah, shout out to Anna for trying to put it together, but didn't quite get it all the way. Okay, didn't quite get it all the way. Okay, we got a little crash out right here over Curtis Sliwa. So it might be a couple of cuss words. You know how New Yorkers be. I'm effing walking here. You know how they be. So please, if you got little kids, cover their ears.
Hold on, start.
What do you want to say to Curtis? Can I see why you fuck New York? Your own ego. Curtis, I interviewed you. I gave you time. I interviewed all the interviews. I interviewed Andrew. I interviewed you. I interviewed Jim. I interviewed Eric Adams. Eric Adams had the class to know when it was time to walk away. You stayed in for the money. You said it's not money, it's money, Curtis. Come after me now. Because I know why you stayed in this fucking race. It's who everybody you supported. And you ruined New York. And Andrew Cuomo was way better suited to be the mayor. Now we got Zoran Mamdani, who you probably cut a deal with. Go on record, come after me. You fuck New York.
So do you really think that Sliwa did this for this?
Hold on.
I mean, I get it. I understand the frustration, but it don't even really make a difference. It don't even matter because at the end of the day, look, hold on. Matter of fact, let's show the numbers. Let's show the numbers, shall we? Okay. So the difference between Zoran Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo was 109,127 votes. Curtis Sliwa got 108,377 votes. So even if all of Curtis Sliwa's votes went to Andrew Cuomo, which was not going to happen, but let's just say in magical fairyland that was the case, he would still be short because he already lost to Zoran in the primary. The constituents, the people that voted for Mamdani are different than those who voted for Cuomo. And the people who voted for Mamdani outnumber those who voted for Cuomo. Mamdani got all your immigrants, recent, a lot of Democrat voters, a lot of young people, trust fund babies. He got all of them. Cuomo got the old New Yorkers. I'm walking. He got them. He got the business people. He got those people. But again, the people who want the communism and socialism outnumber those that got a little bit of common sense in New York. Having Curtis Sliwa there didn't make a difference. If it was between Mamdani and Sliwa, it would have been a bigger margin than it is between Mamdani and Cuomo. If it was Mamdani and Cuomo head to head, Mamdani still would have won because, again, he already beat him in the primary. So why would you want to blame Curtis Sliwa or anyone else other than Andrew Cuomo for losing? And let's not act like Andrew Cuomo was a great candidate. Let's not do that now. Okay, because Cuomo, you still got the whole sexual harassment thing going on. I'm Italian. Oh, okay. So you just kissing them random girls, touching them on their hind parts because you Italian. Oh, okay, that's cool. Hey, I'm going to use that. You know what? I don't know what happened, man. I went into the store. I just started stealing because I'm black. I can't help it. Anyway, that excuse don't work, bro. And then the whole nursing home thing during COVID, you have worn out your welcome in New York. You're not a good candidate. And you lost the primary. You shouldn't even been in the race. That's crazy how your choices in New York City was a normie Democrat and an irregular Democrat. That was your choices. You didn't have really any other choice. No, you had one party to choose from. You could get a regular Democrat or an irregular. Pick one. Pick one. All right. So, yeah, let's keep on going here. This is going to be Eric Trump talking about Mamdani driving wealth to Florida.
And I'm trying.
Hey, man, listen. Florida is very prosperous, and it will, in my humble opinion, replace California as, like, the biggest economy.
Trying to understand how is he gaining so much support?
You know why?
Average New Yorker.
First of all, he's got a great line of shit, right? I mean, make no mistake. He's, people are like, oh, he's not a good politician. No, he's a really good politician, right? He's got a great line of shit. Mm-hmm. Second of all, he goes out and he promises free stuff for everybody. You know, the problem is, so we're in Florida, obviously, right now, right? Ron DeSantis is literally going out right now saying, hey, I'm going to eliminate all property taxes in the state of Florida. And you know why he's able to do that? Because everybody from New York has moved to Florida and all the wealth of New York has come to Florida. And they have such a surplus in their budget that they don't need people to pay property taxes. It's literally going to pass, right? They're going to put it through the legislature, versus New York, where you have a guy going out there saying, we're going to increase taxes on the few remaining people. And guess what? You know where they're going to come? They're going to come to Florida.
And I'm trying to understand.
You know what's funny? It kind of reminds me of what's happening with a place like Vegas, because not saying the entire tourist industry, but a big piece of it, they are trying to go after the whales, go after the people that got a whole bunch of money, big pockets. But you may drive them away. And if you drive people away, now you got to increase prices more to try to squeeze from those who remain. That's what's happening in a place like New York City. They're trying to squeeze the pockets of those who remain. But in Florida, it's so bountiful. There's so much money floating around. They don't even need the property tax money. But New York City needs every single dollar, especially since they have incentivized their citizenry to not work, to play around all day, whack podcasts, not doing any kind of work. Listen, if I didn't have this microphone in front of me, I would be outside right now getting money. I don't play around. I'm up. I go hard. I grind. I'm up early. I go to sleep late. I go hard. And not everybody's going to be like me. People like me go to certain places. Are they going to New York with a guy like me who's going to go hard, go after it? It doesn't matter what it is. If I'm selling hot dogs, if I am cutting grass, which I wanted, I love landscaping and stuff like that. If today they say, okay, no more podcast ABL, no more nothing, I would still be living my same lifestyle, doing something else. guys like me don't want to go to a place like New York because it's stifling and we're not allowed to just be ourselves and produce. But we can go to Florida and be free to produce and not just be right on all our money. So we're going to gravitate there and we're not going to New York. Now, hold on. Did you guys see this video? Jay Jones? Jay Jones is a text guy. The guy that had those weird texts. I want to kill his kids. Remember that guy? In not New York, pardon me. The Attorney General elect, as the cool kids say, of Virginia. Have you guys seen this video of him like playing, kicking the dog?
And then he wake up tonight when you get this win. Goodbye, Red. Say bye-bye. See you soon.
Okay, so I don't know what's going on with that. I told y'all Jay Jones was weird, but the young lady, I know her. That's a friend of mine. She cool. She just on the left, but she's good people. And I think her influence is what caused Portsmouth to have that really big shift to the left, a big voter outreach because she's from Portsmouth. Okay, but yeah, that is Jay Jones. Jay, if you're listening to me, you know now that we got mutual friends. What I ask you, if you can hear this, you probably will. Just do right in Virginia. Don't do nothing crazy. Don't do nothing weird. Just do right in Virginia. Now I know it might be kind of hard for you, but come on, bro. We don't act a fool in Virginia. All right, just be regular. You got gangbangers and repeat offenders. Please lock them up. Please lock them up, bro. Illegal aliens, please call ICE. Get them on the phone. Cooperate. But anyway, hey, shout out to Virginia. I hope that you guys live through this. I hope you guys live through this. I don't know what that was like with the dog thing. I don't know what that was like. Why would you do that? That's my question. Like, is that how you play with dogs? You kick him in the hind parts? He's just weird. Now, here's part of Zoran's acceptance speech. I ain't gonna play the whole thing, like 20 seconds, where he thanks a lot of different people, but there's one group that is mysteriously missing. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna play it. Let's get a little bit of sound and RIP in advance to the headphone users. All right, hold on. There we go. And let's get it on the screen so that might help.
I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties.
All right, there we go. So, yeah, what did he say? He said Ethiopian and Senegalese and Americans. Nah, we cool on that. Where is the American? Oh, we got American flag over here on the other side. You can't see it. It's not right in the view. It's not right behind them. That's pretty interesting. Okay, you see the American flag over there. All right, yeah. But that's your guy. Hey, this is your guy in New York. All right, y'all got it. But when the policies don't come to fruition, when things don't go well, don't come down here. Stay up there and do with it. Stay up there and enjoy it. You voted for it. Hey, don't vote for a particular thing and then flee what you voted. Stay where you at. This is going to be Jennifer Welch. I'm not sure who this is. Angry podcast lady at the Zoran victory party. And RIP to the headphone users. Okay. There we go. Looking like David Letterman. But anyway. If it was all whites right now, it'd be boring as SHI, you know the rest.
Everybody needs some spice and some color in their lives. Life's a lot better. That's the coolest thing about America. Americans have no culture except for multicultural.
Well said.
And we need to teach people how to embrace that. These crusty white people need to learn how to embrace it.
So this person says Americans have no culture except for multiculturalism, and all these crusty white people got to get on board. Okay. That is your Zoran supporter right there. Okay. And it's so funny that the white liberal always says that about themselves. Are we dealing with self-hatred? Like, what's really going on here, white liberal? Maybe it is self-hatred because you're going to vote for a guy like Zoran who will make your life more difficult to deal with. I would not want to vote for a guy that will make my life more difficult. It doesn't really compute to me. If I'm going to vote for you, I'm going to vote for the best person who will make the best impact on my life in the city or in the state or in the country. Okay. Let's keep on going here. This person says the pendulum is swinging. Because of these results, the pendulum is swinging. Okay. If you're open-minded and tolerant, the pendulum is swinging. Let's check it out.
This is the pendulum is swinging. Zoran winning is the pendulum swinging. Shit's about to get really woke really quickly. This whole like conservatism is trendy. I'm so tradwife. I'm so cover of time, like all that, you know, that magazine cover. I don't even remember the name of the freaking. It's done. It's done. You lost. Haha. We're back. We're better than ever. We're hotter than ever. I got my heatless crow routine down. The trainings are coming to infiltrate the do illegal alien surgeries and
Zoran voter right there. Hey, ABL, how did Zoran Mamdani win? Exhibit A. Hey, Exhibit A. There you go right there. You looking like you could play quarterback for a high school football team right now. Okay. You big crazy Adam's apple, you big neck. Hey, I bet you got a crazy down the field bomb. A crazy down the field bomb. All you need is an athletic receiver. Hey, it'd be right in the pocket. You could go to you could go to Tennessee right now, Rocky Top, and throw for about 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. But anyway, bro, you don't really know what's going on with yourself. Therefore, you think that voting for a Zoran makes sense. If only you made sense in your regular everyday life, you realize that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, shout out to Peyton Manning, Ryan Leaf, Rich Gannon. Anyway, Major Applewhite. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Now, we got some street interviews. This man says he's going to get a brand new body part from Medicaid in New York City. Now, I wonder if Zoran will allow that to happen. I wonder if that'll happen under the U.S. system. If it can, if it will, we got a problem. All right. Y'all ready? You're not ready, but you better get ready.
In a year, I'll have a vagina. I just have to complete a year of electrolysis first, and then I'll get a vagina.
How expensive is that?
Medicaid, baby. We live in New York. In a year, I'll...
Okay, so, bro, whatever you want to do to yourself with your own money, knock yourself out. You want to put a big a dinosaur horn right in the center of your forehead, knock yourself out. But see, the problem comes when you want to say the state got to pay for it. Nah, I don't know about y'all, but I would not want my tax monies to go toward this gentleman getting a surgery on his private parts. I'm not with it. I am not with it. This is part of the reason why I say there should be some regulations to this thing, okay? Regulations about who can get what for what. Regulations about what we pay for, what we don't pay for. Let's not just waste money on ridiculous nonsense. So yeah, shout out to that dude out there in New York City. And we got some more. Hey, I got a question about government, about communism. Why would you pay for anything if the government says we'll take care of them? Why would you pay for anything if the government said we'll take care of the bill? Why would you pay? if you could pay for your rent, but the government says, now we take care of it, why would you pay the rent? It's optional. Why would you choose the option to pay it?
So much money in New York, and now it's our money.
Yeah.
Are we paying rent tomorrow?
No. Yeah, we want to like free everything. So, and the benefit, train, bus, and also
Finally free.
finally free. Yeah.
No more guns. Mental health experts with clipboards to help people in need.
Yeah.
I have a cafe that employs people, so I know you'll be looking for a job tomorrow. So much money in New York.
Man, that's crazy. Do you think Zoran will defund the police? Is that going to be part of his whole thing? I hope not, because if he does, Gotham City, hey, it ain't no Batman at all. It ain't no Batman, no police, no nothing. It's just straight free for all. You better learn how to fight, shoot. You better know how to evade any kind of crazy traps from the homeless people and the crack smokers, because they out there all day long tinkering and fiddling with gadgets just to get you ensnared into a little trap. Figure out how to get around that when you don't have anybody to protect you on the streets of New York City. Because these smooth brains, rocket scientists, won't do anything at all to help you. They're not going to help you at all. Okay, so this guy thinks that there should be no millionaires. Really, if you think there should be no millionaires or no billionaires, you a hater. You're just a hater. And hating won't get you any money. Hating won't make you be on the same level as a billionaire or the millionaire.
I don't think there should be such a thing as a billionaire. The reason I support Zoran Mamdani is because there are 123 billionaires in New York. There are 350,000 millionaires in New York. 1 out of every 12 New Yorkers has at least $1 million. Meanwhile, 2 million New Yorkers live beneath the poverty line. 240,000 children. We can fill Madison Square Garden with every seat in Madison Square Garden with kids who sleep in the shelter system every night in New York City. Zoran Mamdani wants to address these inequities in ways that a mayor could. You know, free buses will go a long way to helping these people. People that live below the poverty line will go a long way to help them. City-run grocery stores in the boroughs, one in each borough, will help people that are relying on food pantries as it is. That's why I support Zoran Mamdani. I don't think there should be billionaires. I agree with Zoran Mamdani.
Are you afraid if he does become mayor that a lot of billionaires and millionaires will move?
No.
All right, there we go. So, my man, you're not living in reality. You're not living in reality. So, you think there should not be billionaires and you want to attack millionaires. Like I was saying earlier, 80% of the millionaires in New York are self-made. These are guys and girls that went out there and worked hard for what they've earned. They employ people. They improve their community. They are a net benefit to the city. You want to keep them there. The top 1% of New Yorkers pay 48% of all New York City's taxes. If you have policy that is hostile toward them and takes more of their money, they may say, you know what, I'm out. I want to go somewhere else. I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to go to Tennessee. I'm going to go somewhere else other than here because I don't want to get robbed. I don't want to have all my resources taken away. I'm going to just leave. And the things you want to fund, all these innovative ideas, quote unquote innovative, the free buses and the free stores and the free this and the free that, these things will not able to be funded if you don't have the tax base of the rich people you just drove away to Florida and Tennessee and Virginia or wherever else they want to go. But these guys don't really get it, or they try to ignore the reality because the reality was right there. The person was like, well, what if they leave? If the millionaires and billionaires leave? Oh, no, they're not going to leave. Okay. All right. So this is a good one. I like this right here. This video has everything. It has everything that you could want in a video like this. And the subject is about teaching the man to fish. You know, the thing, the line. If you give a man the fish, hold on. I want to get it right. I want to get it right. Because I know the actual the point. Let's read it. Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Meaning, if you just give somebody a handout, they're satisfied for that day, but they got to come back the next day to get another handout. If you can teach that person how to provide for themselves, you teach them that one time, and now they got it. Now they don't need you to give them something because they're able to go out there and get it for themselves. That's kind of how the whole thing goes. So this woman says that whole thing, teaching men to fish, that's not possible because Republicans don't enable that process to happen. And there's a better way to do this, and it's called communism. Let's watch. And RIP in advance to the headphone users. Let's go ahead and watch. And you already see off the rip, we got some appearance issues going on, but I digress.
I was just thinking about this Republican talking point that used to get grilled through me of, if you give a man a fish, he'll keep asking for fish, but if you teach him to fish, he'll never ask for you again. And I was thinking about it in the sense of it's trying to, like, say Democrats want to give out free handouts and Republicans don't. But the problem is Republicans aren't teaching anybody to fish. They're actually gatekeeping fishing. You're actually unable to fish unless your grandfather's grandfather owned a pond. You actually don't have access to water at all. Most people don't. Y'all aren't teaching anyone to fish. If anyone's going to teach you how to fish, it's a communist, right? Because they want to make everybody self-sufficient on their own. Like, you guys aren't giving away fish or teaching people how to fish. Republicans are fishing and throwing it in your face, and Democrats are catching gay fish. Being like, look at how progressive our fish are, while we're all in the fucking desert. I was just thinking about this.
All right, there we go. So that right there again. ABL, how do we have Zoran voted? You have not one, not two, but 3 nose rings. So that is like, hey, get 5 more and you be the Olympics, pretty much. Anyway, hey, get some big hoops. And anyway, I'm doing too much. But how are Republicans gatekeeping fishing? How are we gatekeeping information? We tell people what to do. We say, hey, go get a trade, go get a skill, be productive, go out there and work. That's what we say. And it's not just relegated to those who have people in their family that are rich or they have someone spoon in their mouth, because my grandpa didn't, my grandpa did not own a pond. There was nothing like that going on. I come from the hood, but my mentality was always to elevate, to do better. Republicans don't block you from being able to get better. Conservatives want you to get better. They encourage you to get better and to grow and to be better today than you were yesterday. But the Democrats, what they do is keep you ignorant so you don't know anything throughout your entire life so they can manipulate you. Then they want to bring in illegal aliens who by default are ignorant to the United States because they've not lived here. They're new, and they are used the same way as the ignorant Americans are, who were kept ignorant intentionally. They're used as cannon fodder for the elections. That's how it goes. So I think you got it exactly wrong. In communism, you are only meant to serve the needs of the state. That's it. Whatever the state wants, you got to do it. That kind of sounds like slavery from the top. Slavery back in the United States in the 1800s, you got a plantation and a master and slaves. Under communism, you have the entire country as a plantation, and you have the masters who are the politicians. That's how that goes. So hopefully, young lady, this helps. Hopefully it helps. And you know what? Hey, young lady, I know you're going to see this. If this has helped you, take out one of your nose rings. So I'll see your next video and I'll be like, oh, she listened. And then hopefully we're able to get each nose ring out of there and you be renewed. Okay, you shall be renewed. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Let's see this here. This is about Zoran. I've not watched this, but I want to see what she got to say.
Listen, guys, I keep trying to film a video about why Zohran Mamdani won last night, and it really just comes down to this. Young people do not fear socialism. It's not a dirty word for them, and that creates fear in my heart. So while I do not live in New York City, I feel very worried about these results. I also think that there's a huge cost of living crisis happening in America, and that's the result of decades of economic intervention. Socialism won't help. It's gonna make things worse. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to find out the hard way. It's really upsetting to me that this seems like it's going to turn into a trend and that my generation is going to continually vote for socialists to rule this country and our cities, and things are just gonna get demonstrably worse, as they did in Venezuela, as they did in Cuba, as they did in Bolivia, as they did in Argentina. Everywhere where this has been tried, socialism enters a honeymoon period for a few years while there's still wealth to extract from the economy, but then when there's none left, things go downhill really quickly. It's not Zohran Mamdani's great smile and good vibes campaign. I get why that's attractive to people. I understand the allure, and I understand why people want politicians to talk about cost of living. But ultimately, I think we're just too sheltered from the real impact of socialism, and buckle up, America.
Hey, get ready, because it's coming. I mean, personally, like I said, I'm in Tennessee, out on dog in the fight up there in New York. The only dog in the fight is I don't want New York City to negatively impact the rest of the union when they begin to suffer more than what they're doing right now. I don't want them to be a magnet for illegal aliens. I don't want them to be a magnet for the drugs. I don't want the sicknesses that are going to impact New York to infect the rest of the country. Okay.
I voted.
Now, this woman right here kind of encapsulates your Mamdani voter. And notice there's been quite a few women I show. I'm gonna look at some. I'm gonna show you guys some stats to kind of break that down a little bit. Okay.
I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily. I voted for Mamdani.
Do you feel like socialism would work in New York City?
No, not necessarily.
So you voted for Mamdani, but then when he asks you if you think socialism work in New York City, you're like, nah, I don't think so. If you don't think socialism, communism, or whatever would work in New York City, then why vote for Zohran Mamdani? That doesn't make any sense. But these people don't understand anything. They don't know anything. So they're going to do things that don't make any sense. That's just part of the game, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Okay, now I got some numbers right quick. I got some stats from exit poll data. Let's look at that right quick. And then I keep rocking with the videos. Okay. So let's see here. Can I put it up this way? Hold on. It's kind of hard to see. So we got exit polls. So as far as gender, 44% of the men voted for Mamdani, 55% of the women. Whites, 50% for, well, hold on. Actually, I'm tripping. I'm looking at the wrong numbers. So 50% of men and 50% of the women voted for Mamdani. Now, as far as Cuomo, you got a little bit more that voted for Cuomo. That's female. That's interesting. White, 50%. 45%, but 50% of the city. Black, 57% of the vote went to Mamdani. Hispanic, 52% went to Mamdani. Age, 62% went for Mamdani. And the rest, 51% for Mamdani. So all the other ethnicities aside from white went high for Mamdani. But white was also high at 45% for Mamdani. Okay. So whites in general, 45%, non-white, 56%. That right there was a big thing. All right. So you can kind of see what's going on. Do I have I thought I had more here. Oh, I got more. So you got gender by race. Let's look at that. So white men, 42% for Mamdani. White women, 47%. Black men, 62% for Mamdani. Black women, 54% for Mamdani. That's interesting. That's interesting. So it looks like black men vote more for Mamdani than black women and they voted less for Cuomo than black women, but they voted more for Curtis Lee. What is interesting. So look at the age right here. I know it's hard to see, but bear with me. 18 to 29, 78% voted for Zoran. 78% voted for Zoran. 30 to 44, 66% for Zoran. So when you get to 45, it kind of gets below 50%, and 65 is way low for Zoran. Overall, 18 to 44, 70% voted for Zoran. 45 and up, 40% for Zoran. So you see, it's a lot of young people, a lot of immigrants. A lot of them are saying, let's go ahead and vote for Zoran. Okay. And you can see, same thing with the whites, 18 to 29, 30 to 34, it's high. Once you get to be 45 and up, 65 and up, it dips down. Black 18 to 29 is 84%, real high. But 65 and up, 47%. It's a lot lower. The people who have been there for a while, the older people who know things, they understand. The young people, they don't know nothing. Just like we just saw. Yeah, I vote for Zoran, but I don't think his policies are going to work. Socialism, communism, it ain't going to work. But I'm still voting for him. That's the energy.
Who are you?
And matter of fact, here's an example of it. Here is a prime example. This is our guy, Nick Shirley. Shout out to Nick Shirley. Okay. He's asking a Zoran guy, a black guy, his favorite socialist country.
Who are you voting for mayor?
I like Cuomo, but I think Mondani might be pulling the lead a little bit with me.
What's your favorite example of socialism that's worked?
I don't have a big example of it, of socialism.
Like between Venezuela, Cuba, Soviet Union, what's your favorite one?
Man, you put me on the spot. I'm gonna have to go Cuba. Man, I'm gonna have to go Cuba. Yeah. Let's go there. It's just so complicated for me. I got so much information in my head, but I'm gonna go with that.
Do you think Mondami's the future of the Democratic Party?
I mean, I hope so.
Who are you voting for?
So there we go. So his favorite socialist paradise, Venezuela, Soviet Union, Cuba. Let's go with Cuba. Yeah, I like Cuba. The cars from 1955 that are still on the road, barely working because they can't get anything in. All right, yeah, Cuba, that's totally fine. So, hey, if you want New York City to be like Havana, okay, you got it. Don't worry about it. And in due time, it'll happen if you guys want it hard enough or bad enough.
What do you
Now, this guy was echoing my sentiments about if you tax the rich in New York City, what's going to happen? You're going to cause them to flee. That is an obvious natural reaction to taxing people very heavily who are the tax base of your city. They're going to leave.
What do you think will happen in New York City if and when Mondami is potentially elected?
I mean, dude, it can be, I don't like using terms of hyperbole or exaggeration, but it can be as bad as people think it can be, okay? You're talking about someone who is targeting the 1% or the 2% or even folks that are making just $1 million a year. I'll break that down for you. 80% of millionaires in New York and in the entire United States are self-made. It's one thing if he's only targeting the billionaires and then you have a good faith dispute. He's targeting folks that believed and bought into the American dream and are nothing but value add producers to New York City. They help out their communities, they feed their employees, they feed their families, and the 1% of New Yorkers gives 48% of New York City's tax base. So if he's pushing these folks out, and again, setting the billionaires aside, self-made millionaires who are employing hardworking folks, if he pushes them out and continues the mass exodus of folks leaving of Florida, there won't be any tax base to fund all these projects, these utopian projects, these pie-in-the-sky projects that he is telling and lying to everyone that he says he'll fund. There will be dust in his hands.
Are free buses worth getting rid of the rich here?
Absolutely not. Look, there's good faith debate that you guys can have as to whether free buses and free subways and free transportation can come. Obviously, that term free is loaded. But the way he is proposing it by demonizing certain classes and certain sects and certain factions who are only value-producing folks in New York City is what we call a demagogue, is what we call a charlatan. He is a fraud. He has been demonstrated as a fraud at every iteration throughout his entire campaign.
Right on. Very well said. So shout out to him. Shout out to him. That was very well said. If you demonize people who make your city great, who employ people, who keep the tax base up, all you're going to do is drive them away and you're going to have decay as a result. you're not going to be able to fund all these projects you're promising. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And if you do fund it, it'll be halfway. It won't really be what you expected if you were to vote for the guy based on his promises. So what he's saying is right on point. Now, JV said, well, what if Zoran is successful? What if he actually makes these things happen? Free this, free that. What if he is successful? If he is able to totally go against all of what we know to be true historically, when this has been tried and failed over and over again, if he is able to do it right this time, where all the others, bigger brains than him, have tried and failed, then I'll be like, you know what? Hats off to you. You are the first guy in the history of this world to make communism work. That'd be fantastic. But in reality, that's not the way the world works. I don't see it happening because they already tried this before. This ain't the first time. Like, Zoran's ideas are not new. They're not groundbreaking. They're not innovative. And as a matter of fact, we have a young lady right here who is going to tell us that what Zoran is talking about is not new, it's been tried, and it doesn't work. And RIP to the headphone users in advance. All right.
Mandari! Dios me libre! Oh my God! This is comunista! This is socialista comunista! Me, I like the other guy, no Mandani. Como? Maybe a little bit, no. I like it. Courage.
Are you a Democrat?
Me? No, I'm me a Republican. Because this 4 years so New York is destruction. And the bus, lot of people no pay. Me never, I'm pay all the time because I respect the line. Mandari.
Hey, shout out to her. She's right on point. Now, I don't know where she's from originally, from Cuba, sound like, or Dominican, I don't know. But she is right on point. And the reaction to Zoran is probably because she experienced communism and was able to witness firsthand the destruction. She was able to live through the food shortages and everything else. She understands that that does not work. That system, that form of governance does not work. So when she's hearing it again, it's like, oh, here we go again. I left Cuba or wherever I'm from, dealing with that to come to New York and do with the same exact thing. So shout out to her. She is right on point, 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to her. So where's she from? Is she from Cuba? From Dominican? What do y'all think? Either way it goes, Abuela was cooking with gasoline. Cooking with gasoline, 100%. Cuba, 100%. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So now we're talking to small business owners in New York. Guys that actually go out there and work every day and deal with the public and deal with payroll and deal with inventory, and they have to be able to make a profit and whatnot. Let's talk to them, because out of anybody in this country, they're going to know what the effects of communism could be when it's proposed to them. He win. All right, let's go ahead and watch.
He win, by the way?
He won.
They chose the knucklehead, so we're gonna pay for it.
What happens if he opens up the government-run grocery stores?
I'm not with it.
Oh, you don't like the government-run grocery stores?
No.
$30 minimum wage. Can you explain how that might affect businesses?
We're going to hell. It's be over.
How are they gonna make payroll? It's just about all the policy that he tried to do, increasing the workers and the taxes. It's not good.
The minimum wage doesn't help the worker. It just helps the system. Pay more money, more taxes, prices go up.
Overnight, half of them will go out of business.
Well, I'm in a blue state, I'm sorry, but I've been red my whole life. Democrats have always ruined, steal, rob, and lie.
Any thoughts on having him for 4 years?
What I can do is just swallow and try to face it, but it's not easy.
We're cooked. We're on the way to becoming a communist state.
The city's in trouble. We're in trouble.
Good luck.
He win.
So right there, you're talking to real people, the soul of the city, the business owners. And it doesn't matter. You got black, white, you got recent immigrants, a little bit of everybody saying the exact same thing. All these policies, raising minimum wage, this tax and that expense, at the bottom line, the guys running the shop got to pay for it. And these guys are not making $1 trillion. They're making, like a restaurant, for example. I don't know about a corner store, but it's probably similar. A restaurant, you're talking about a 4% profit margin at best. And then sometimes you have unexpected expenses. You got people stealing. You got somebody, driving crazy, crash through your door, crash through your window. It's always something. HVAC messed up. It's rats in there because it's New York and there's always rats everywhere. These things cost. And then you want to have a guy to put more cost onto what you're doing and to defund the police. So you're going to have more stealing. This is just going to cause the bottom line to increase. So how long can you survive like that? You think you're doing what's right for the citizenry, but the citizenry are also your business owners. These guys are also New York City residents. Just because they have a business does not mean they should be penalized for having the business. You want people to be in the place working, having business, and employing people. That's how economies work. That's how society functions. To penalize those who make society work does not make any sense. But here we are. Hey, Mamdani voters, stay up there. Don't come down south of the Mason-Dixon line. Stay on Manhattan Island and just hey, matter of fact, the Roosevelt Hotel where they had the migrants, move in there. Just stay in there and don't smoke crack or nothing in the actual hotel room. Just be in there chilling. Okay.
City.
Now we got another gentleman in New York being interviewed about some of the policies. See, my man right here, this is a man whose face I see wisdom, whose expression is logic, common sense. A lot of other New Yorkers are just silly. They're just goofy for no reason. This man is not silly, goofy, or nothing. Let's hear from him, shall we?
City resident, tell me why you decided to vote for Andrew Cuomo.
I decided to vote for Andrew Cuomo because he has a lot of experience. He's been the governor of New York, and I feel like we don't want our city to go in a direction that's not, important for businesses as well as our regular everyday New Yorkers.
Obviously, Mr. Cuomo is not the front runner, according to just about every poll that's out there. You look at Zoran Mamdani is the front runner. What do you think of him as a candidate? And none of the things that he was talking about appeal to you: affordable housing, making health care for children more affordable, free buses. None of that appealed to you and what you were looking for in a mayor?
Well, I don't think nothing is free. With a background in finance and economics and business, I know that it's important that you have to pay for things. Even if you're paying for it at a discounted rate, you need to be able to pay for it. I don't think nothing is given free. I think it's important that we all should be able to work. I think job creation is the key to all of it. We must create jobs. We must put our people back to work. New Yorkers need to work. And that's what I think Governor Cuomo will do for us. He'll help us to get our jobs back and help keep our businesses here in the city of New York.
There we go. So, hey, he is right on point. Now, I'm not a big Cuomo fan, but I think we all can agree, whether we like Cuomo or dislike Cuomo, that he's better than Zoran Mamdani. It's just like in Minneapolis. Jacob Fry is better than I'm the captain now. I think we can all say that. Although I would not vote for Jacob Fry if I had a better choice than him. You understand what I'm saying? He understands that things cost. When you say free buses and free this and free that, it's not free. It may be quote unquote free to the person consuming it, but that process to make it quote unquote free is not free. Who's paying for it? Me, you, all the taxpayers in New York City and the United States of America. So it doesn't make any sense. You got to have jobs. You got to work. You got to go out there and do something. To sit on your hind parts all day, chilling, eating fat, getting fat, eating big bag snacks, that's not how you actually function as a society. People got to go out there and do stuff. Now, if you want to just sit on your hind parts all day, go in the woods, be homeless, and be, foraging for twigs and berries. And when that bear come nipping at your hind parts, hey, man, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know what you're going to do. Hey, out here, we got coyote, we got bear, we got all of that. If you want to live rough like that, go ahead. If you want to live in society, you have to work and do something to contribute to society. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, where are we going to go next? Let's go. Oh, speaking about Zoran and whatnot, let's talk about some of these migrants. Okay, let's talk about the migrants. How the Venezuelan migrants in Chicago are getting $15,000 in food stamps, 6 months free rent, and $5,000 in cash. Wow. Amazing how you can incentivize people to work when they come here illegally and you give them money and free this and free that. I wonder why that program is not available for Americans. I don't know. Let's just watch.
No, $15,000 in food stamps and $5,000 in cash money monthly. Every month they're getting that. Yes, and they're getting 6 months free rent. But this was the first time I heard about it. Now I've heard it's 2 years free rent, getting Section 8, first prioritized before the citizens.
So the Venezuelan migrants that are coming in here, they are getting 6 months free rent, $15,000 in food stamps, and on a credit card, $5,000. Cash. Oh my goodness. How do the people in Chicago feel about that?
Oh, people are angry because there's a lot of people, that need help with Medicaid and food stamps, and they get rejected.
Tell me about the people that you've seen on the streets collecting clothes.
By my house there's a Walgreens. There's a lot of families that go stand by the door with a pamphlet saying they need money and food, and they're Venezuelans getting money, and then they go in the bus and don't pay, go in the trains, don't pay, and they're not getting in trouble for none of the wrong things they're doing.
So not only do they get all these free things, they also steal and commit crime and don't get in trouble. So it's like they could do whatever they want. You're placing these illegal aliens often above regular everyday American citizens, giving them our money, and then when they break our laws, there's nothing done. Aside from them being here illegally, which is one law being broken, they also commit crime while they're here and nothing happens. That's why we saw the ICE raid in Chicago where they took over like one whole building, and then you had the left trying to defend them, talking about they're snatching up black babies. No, they weren't. You got all these illegal alien Venezuelans squatting in a private place where they shouldn't have been. So yeah, that's what's happening in a lot of these places all over the good old US of A. And matter of fact, hold on. Do I have a video? I think I had a video where they were out there protesting against that. If I find it, I'll let you know. But speaking about food and stuff, the city-run grocery stores, Zoran. Okay, so here is Zoran's message to store owners, okay, about how his city-run stores will operate.
Sources of revenue for bodegas in New York City are cigarettes and lotto. That we have no interest in selling any of that at a city-run grocery store whose entire purpose is to deliver affordable groceries. And I think this is the thing you'll see, especially in the last days of an election. The desperation increases sources of revenue for.
Okay, so you got a city-run store. We're not gonna have no lottery, none of that stuff that the bodegas are gonna have. Now he's trying to deliver the message as a way to say we're not trying to compete against the bodegas. Okay. But if it's a city-run grocery store and they got things that are cheaper, ultimately, you got to compete with the bodegas. Okay, and also what I hear from that is you're going to have a lot of the things that you think are sinful to not be in the city-run store. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. This is just government control. Do you know in Virginia you don't have any liquor stores? No, there's in Virginia, there are no privately owned liquor stores. Did you know that? It's all ABC stores. It kind of sounds like that, a little bit of government control. And ultimately, he may want these stores to expand to eliminate the bodega. Now, I got to show you this video right here because I've experienced this kind of crowd control before. Like you're going down to the beach and let's say it's an event, right? It's a big event. The police will be on horseback. And if you want to act up, do little stuff, they're going to run up on you. Meaning the horses are going to run up on you. Now, a guy like Zoran might say this is too much. It's brutality. No. So the caption says LAPD officers on the horses charge people standing in line to get into the short stop on Echo Park. Okay. It's almost 12 midnight, LA Taco. Okay. 12 midnight. Everybody's out there deep like that. Does anybody work in LA? Who knows? But you got to have crowd control at a certain point. If the police in your area are soft and they just let stuff happen, you're going to have a city that's totally in decay. Now, some may say that was excessive, but ain't nobody get shot. Ain't nobody get pepper sprayed. It's okay. It's okay. Listen, I've been there before, not quite in this situation, but let me tell you a quick story about a horse encounter. I told it before, I believe, but I'm going to tell it again for those who haven't heard it. So I'm at the beach on the 4th of July, maybe, something like that. Memorial Day, one of these events where you go down to the beach and it's packed. I'm young. I'm like 18, 19, 20, something like this. I'm with at least one or two of my friends, and then my friend's uncle, who was like 10 years older than us. I don't know why he was with us, but anyway. So we all together on the beach, and the uncle, who should be the guy that got a brain, he goes behind a Dairy Queen to pee. Like not in the porta potty, not in the bathroom, but just outside. But behind the porta potty, but behind the Dairy Queen so nobody sees him. But of course, the horse did see him, and the cop, of course, ran right up on him, almost trampled him, and gave him a ticket. So I don't know about y'all, but if I've been drinking and I'm urinating and then the horse run up on me, I think I'm about to die. The moral of the story is you cannot urinate like that out there in public. That is indecent. People can't see you, and you might have a horse run up on you. And if you're out there in LA at 12 minutes, like if you're out there in LA at 12 minutes like a zombie, and you're not doing what they ask you to do, hey, you know what? You might get this stick right on your hind parts, and you might get a horse running up on you. So it is what it is. So shout out to LAPD. Hey, I'm going to need y'all to have tighter security all the time in New York. I mean, in LA. Have tighter security all the time in LA. Bring the horses. Do whatever you got to do to get these miscreants in control. For sure. Hey, man, that horse, listen. Have you ever like heard a horse like right up on you? Man, listen. See, that's why I don't play around. Down the beach, I would never just be outside with, doing stuff like that. Now, we got to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is she becoming a Democrat? What's going on? Is she going to try to become the president in 2028? You know what would be hilarious? Is if Marjorie Taylor Greene decided to run as a president, if she decided to run in 2028 as a Democrat. That would be hilarious if Marjorie Taylor Greene, Miss Super MAGA, Jewish Space Lasers, if she decided to run for president in 28 as a Democrat. That would just be hilarious. Now, here's AOC talking about her opinion about why Marjorie Taylor Greene is kind of going on this tour of bashing conservatives, because that's what it sounds like to me. Maybe you guys disagree, but what I see from Marjorie Taylor Greene is conservatives suck. That's what I hear a lot from her lately. Okay, so again, this is going to be AOC.
Here's some tea for you. MTG, people are like, oh my God, she's saying all of these things. Like, what's gotten into her lately? Oh, like she's bucking against Trump. She's bucking against the administration. Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to run for Senate in Georgia. She wanted to run for Senate earlier this year in the state of Georgia. She wanted to be the Republican nominee for Senate. So she was gearing up for that statewide race, and Trump told her no. Trump said no. And the White House and Trump land shut down Marjorie Taylor Greene's personal ambitions to run for Senate. And she has been on a revenge tour ever since. Here's some.
Okay, so this is AOC, so take it with a grain of salt. But do you believe what she's saying? Do you think what she's saying has any kind of legs to it? Does it make sense? I don't know if she's telling the truth or not, but it sounds like it makes sense to me. And if what she's saying is true, I'm not saying it is, but if it's true, it makes sense. And it also makes sense for Trump to say no, because if you react like this when you don't get your way, you're going to do that anyway. If you were to run for the Senate and during this process, you're told certain things and you don't want to do it. If when you become senator, you're told certain things and you don't want to do it, and you get in the way, that's just going to disrupt the entire party. So why would I want you to run for Senate if I know that about you already? So y'all let me know what you think. But speaking of Marjorie, here she is on The View. Yes, The View. Okay, now y'all let me know if you think she fits in with the crowd, if she fits in with this panel or not. Y'all let me know.
Say you don't believe in the QAnon conspiracies anymore?
Oh, I went over that a long time ago. I mean,
you've changed.
Well, no, I haven't changed. I was a victim, just like you were, of media lies and stuff you read on social media. You all have attacked me many times on this show. Because of things that you read about me. That weren't true.
Or clips we've seen.
Or clips you've seen
The Jewish
that
space
took me out of
lasers. What was
context.
that about?
No, but
Wait, hold
not
up.
even true.
Let's take a
Okay, I got to pause because it's The View.
second.
Yeah, it's been
I'm
rebuffed.
getting the...
Okay, that's them cutting that segment right there. So now it's just, okay, let's just confront you on whatever you got to talk about. Let's keep going here. Here she is talking about Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
I yelled at Mike Johnson last week on our GOP conference call. By the way, I'm missing the call today. It's going on right now. And I hope that Mike Johnson is finally giving a single health care policy because the country deserves it, and it shouldn't be a secret. And I shouldn't have to go into a skiff to go find our Republican health insurance plan.
Maybe there is
Honestly,
no plan.
You know what? You want to know something? That, I believe, is the truth. There's a lot of ideas, there's a lot of bills, but there's no consensus.
See what I'm saying? Like, why are you agreeing with Sunny Hostin talking about us in a negative way, talking about somebody ain't no plan? Why would you agree with that? See, this is somebody that's like a double agent. And also, you're looking like Hollywood Hulk Hogan. You're looking like actually the red and yellow Hulk Hogan. Okay, with this funny wig. Anyway, I'm doing too much. Okay, I got one more. Then I'll move on from that.
So,
all right, and this is about the shutdown, I believe. Yeah, Hulk Hogan, leg drop, straight from the top.
So I have no problem pointing fingers at everyone. And the worst thing that I just can't get over is we're not working right now. And I put that criticism directly on the Speaker of the House. And we should be at work. All the people sitting in this audience, they go to work every day. People at home watching this.
Marjorie, y'all don't work that much anyway. Y'all are off half of the year anyway. Please stop the nine. Oh, we got to work. Y'all don't do nothing. Let's just be real.
Show, they go to work every day. Ladies, you go to work every day. The people on your set, and it is an embarrassment to me that we're not in session.
And getting paid.
I'm not taking a paycheck.
Good for you. Exactly.
I'm not taking a paycheck.
Exactly.
Good for you.
I had enough, man. Marjorie, you gotta go. Like, you need to go. I'm done with her. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's what AOC said, that she's on a revenge tour, but something ain't right. I don't like it. I don't like what I see. I don't like what's going on. I'm good. I got one more from her, and then I promise I'm done. So here she is talking about there are paid MAGA influencers. I guess this could be like involving me perhaps, or a guy like me. Okay, let's go ahead and watch this, and then I promise I'll move on away from the view.
I think there's a lot of paid social media influencers. And I found it very interesting that they were the MAGA accounts, but they're all paid, and they all attacked me when I announced I was coming to join you ladies on The View. And I think that's very weak and pathetic. But when I talk about weak Republican men, I'm pretty much talking oftentimes about the leadership in the House and the Senate, and they're not getting our agenda done.
First of all, when you say paid MAGA social media influencers, what does that really mean? Since we are influencers and we make money, that means that we're somehow bad. You make money, so what does it make a difference? When you do a speaking engagement, when you go on a podcast, when you do anything outside of your political stuff, you make money. So how is it any different? It's no different. Just because we get money don't mean nothing. What if a guy on the street says, and really, we're the voice of the voiceless often. People will tell us the same thing that we say about you. People who are not being paid to do what we do, they have the exact same views that we have. That's why we are people that are influencers, because people watch us because they can relate. If what I was saying did not hit home for anybody, then nobody would watch me. I mean, come on, man. Hogan, listen. Look, Hogan, you ain't slick, man. You ain't passed away. You didn't go to the other side. You still here with us. You are reincarnated as Marshall Taylor Greene. And if you're not, I can't tell you. Y'all got the exact same skincare routine and the same wig and the same color you be wearing. That bright red, that's Hollywood Hogan all day long. Okay? I know my wrestlers. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, we got a quick recap of the 60 Minutes interview. Okay, I ain't gonna show a bunch of clips from that. It's a quick recap. And did you guys see the entire interview with Trump on 60 Minutes? What you think? Was it a good interview, bad interview? Give me your impression of the interview from CBS 60 Minutes.
Now approaching the longest shutdown in American history.
Democrats' fault. We keep voting. I mean, the Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it. They become crazed lunatics. We will work on fixing the bad health care that we have. Right now, we have terrible health care at too expensive for the people. The problem is they want to give money to prisoners, to drug dealers. I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way.
So far, the shutdown hasn't spooked the stock market, which hit record highs this past week.
Perfect timing for your show. Just hit an all-time high.
What happens to your economic plan if the Supreme Court invalidates your tariffs?
I think our country would be immeasurably hurt. Because of tariffs, we have the highest stock market we've ever had. I think it's the most important subject discussed by the Supreme Court in 100 years. We're cleaning up our cities. You know, I campaigned on crime, but I've done a much better job on crime than I thought. You know, the crime numbers are way down.
Zoran Mandami, 34-year-old Democratic socialist. He's the
communist, not socialist, communist.
And let's pause right there. The whole thing about Zoran being a communist, that is the correct word to use. That is the correct thing to say. That's the correct way to assign it, because you can't just say socialist. That's like a soft way of trying to say communist. I don't like that, man. Just say what you got to say directly. Don't be trying to, nah, man. Just say he's a communist. Don't say socialist.
He's the communist, not socialist, communist. It's going to be hard for me as the president to give a lot of money to New York, because if you have a communist running New York, all you're doing is wasting the money you're sending there. I think we should do something about denuclearization. And I did actually discuss that with both President Putin and President Xi.
Would you order U.S. forces to defend Taiwan?
You'll find out if it happens. I was taking in a lot of money from China. We were doing very well against China. The big thing we had was tariffs, ultimately. I said, look, if you don't open up, then what we're going to do is we're going to impose a 100% tariff over and above what you're already paying.
How big of a threat is China?
It's like everybody else. We're a threat to them, too.
Are we going to war against Venezuela?
I doubt it. I don't think so, but
Let's pause right there. Do you guys think we're going to Venezuela for a war? Is that going to be the next thing? Because there's all kind of rumors. They say, okay, Venezuela and this place and that place. What do y'all think? Let me know.
they've been treating us very badly. This is a country that allowed their prisons to be emptied into our country. We have been acknowledged to have the greatest 9 months. It's 9 months. The greatest 9 months in the history of the presidency. So if I can keep that going, I'll be very happy.
All right, there we go. That's a recap straight from the White House of the interview. Did you guys see it? What was your opinion? Did you guys see my breakdown of it? What did you think about my breakdown of it? I thought it was a good interview. I thought he was sharp. And that's one thing that is pretty important because when you're talking about Joe Biden, this guy was as sharp as butter knife. I'm talking about dull as dull could be. Sharp as a spoon. Sharp as a big plastic spoon. That's how sharp Joe Biden was. President Trump, on the other hand, still sharp, still able to be quick, and he's 80 years old. So that's impressive. Again, Joe Biden, dull, way dull, and had accomplished nothing in 50 years of office. All right, now let's go to, Ayanna Pressley. I guess she's part of the squad still. I'm not quite sure. And she is a House rep from Massachusetts. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. If she's still in government, because you know people are. They're in government, then they're not. Okay, yeah. So she is a House rep from Massachusetts and has served since 2019. Now, she says that the work requirements, when we're talking about food stamps, that's cruel. That is so hurtful from President Trump. Let's watch.
First and foremost, this is the most corrupt administration in history. And then they're cruel enough to create work requirements for hungry people to get SNAP. But first
why is that cruel? Because anywhere else in the world, if you want to eat food, you got to work. There's no handout system in place to just perpetually feed you every day. That's just not really your thing. And then whenever I see people talking about, oh, well, we don't have no more food stamps, I don't know what I'm going to do. Whenever I see someone complaining about food stamps and not having them, they always got a big back. The biggest back in the world. I'm like, you know what? You could actually not eat for a week and be fine. You're going to be all right. You will be okay. Hey, get you some coconut water for electrolytes and some liquid hydration, and you'll be good to go. You got like a camel, right? The camel has a hump on its back because when you're in the desert and there is lack of water, you got a reserve. You got a water tank on your back. Same thing with the big backs. You got a fat reserve on your back. So when you're not eating enough food, you could just take from the fat reserve on your body. Easy breezy, easy breezy. So it's not cruel to have work requirements to get food. It's not cruel at all. So yeah, shout out to Ayanna Pressley and shout out to those who actually work for a living. Hold on. There was a video I saw. I wanted to show it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it right quick. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. If I can find it, then we'd be good to we'd be good to go. But if not, I'm gonna keep on rocking. All right. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out. Hey man, fat reserves. That's what it is. You got a camel with a hump on the back. You got people that got these fat stores on their body. Okay, that's kind of what's going on. See, now I got to find that video because now it's on my mind, and if I don't find it, it's gonna just get on my nerves. All right, hold on. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Though you guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Okay, there we go. I found it. Finally, I found it. So this is entitled Danielle Grant is starving. Let me see if I can find it over here. It'd make it a little bit better. Danielle Grant is starving, but I don't think Danielle Grant is really, really having a hard time being able to find some food. I think she's just okie dokie. All right, hold on. There we go.
Danielle Grant is starving.
You know, I'm trying to see if I can get some food because we literally don't have anything to eat today or tomorrow. So we're going to try to make ends meet and we can.
Desperate for food, nowhere to go. Grant and many others got to the Hope Line today just to make an appointment to come back later in the week for food. Resources are slim, leaving 40% of Bronxites without money to feed themselves. Some still in shock.
You heard things before, but it's like, they're not going to let people starve. That's ridiculous, you know, but it's like, no, that's literally like what's happening.
We hope the food pantries maintain open, because if they don't stay open, I really don't know what we're going to do next.
We asked people their reaction to hearing that the Trump administration will partially fund the SNAP program. People say it's not going to do much. They have families to feed and already struggled at the end of every month when they were receiving the full amount.
It's really bad.
Okay, so to say that this woman is starving, like, it wasn't me that said that. It was the news lady that said that out there in New York. She's not starving, okay? She's not starving. She might be a little hungry. She might want some, you know, but she's not starving. She'll be okay. And they got food pantries and there are all kind of stuff around to be able to fill the need. But if you want to point the finger at somebody for how this is going, you got to go straight to the Democratic Party and the federales. Ask them to open the government back up, and then you won't be starving anymore. You'd be just fine, and you could just get back to your normal everyday routine. All right? But yeah, shout out to her. Hopefully you get, you know, everything gets fixed the way you want it. Okay? But if you guys like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Hey, capitalism is awful when you benefit from it the most, I suppose. This is going to be Caleb Hammer. Shout out to Caleb Hammer. He has a channel where he talks about finance. His whole thing is berating you for having really bad finances. I like him a lot. He's good at what he does. Again, shout out to Caleb Hammer. But he's talking to somebody right here who is saying how bad it is to, I guess, be a trust fund baby. Let's watch.
Capitalism is bad. I don't like it.
Yeah, really easy for someone to say that grew up in a really nice house in one of the best school districts in Texas.
I know, but it's
who has the rent paid for, that is able to go to Europe and on a whim with their sister, who's able to do girl math, who's able to be fun employed. Yeah, it's easy to say that the system's bad when you're doing that because you've never had to work for it. You never got to actually see what happens when you put in the work and get benefits and actually have a little bit of responsibility and actually build something or do anything. You've grew up in privilege beyond privilege beyond privilege beyond privilege. It's only the people who speak like you that grew up in a world where you've never had to do a single thing in your life. So I don't want to hear about that. What a joke.
I'm sorry. I just wish everybody had like...
I wish a lot of things. Wishing doesn't get people places. You try to create the best systems.
There we go. Hey, Caleb. You are right on point. And she had to hear that. Hey, that expression that she made, hold on.
Her life.
Right here, this right here, hey, priceless. Priceless. But what he said is right on point. You grew up with all the privilege in the world, the best school, the best house, the best mom and dad, everything was the best. You traveling to Europe. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Luigi Mangione. Same thing. Hey, Luigi Mangione, how were you in Thailand at a young age, just traveling around, hanging out with the lady boys? How are you able to do that? What's going on? A lot of these privileged people feel like they got to, I don't know what's going on. What they call that, affluenza? I don't know what's happening, but it's people like that who talk like that and their policies, if they ever become successful, like a Zoran, another trust fund baby, when they actually get to the point of being in charge, the things that they implement are not going to work because it's based on their skewed view of reality growing up in a privileged environment. It's not wrong to grow up like that, but just because you grew up a certain kind of way where you were successful does not mean that you know what it takes to become successful in this country. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, hey, that right there, hilarious. Right on point. I love it. Shout out to my man, Caleb Hammer. You guys go ahead and subscribe to this page. Good content, really good content. This person says, if you are over 25, you should not be on social media. And when she explains why, I have to really just interject to give my 2 cents on why what she said does not make sense. Okay. Hold on. Let me just get it up properly here. And let's do it this way. There we go. All right.
People over 25 should not have social media. Why? Because their prefrontal cortexes have already developed, and there's so many teenagers and young people on the app that could be endangered by the prefrontal cortex's new decisions and opinions. So if you're over 25, log off of Instagram, log off of Facebook. Come on, boomer, you've had your time.
Okay, so I guess the young people, they say anybody that's over 25 is the boomer. I guess that's like an older person. That's what boomer means. Anyway, so what you are saying is when you get to be 25, that's when your brain fully develops, your prefrontal cortex, all that kind of stuff fully develops. So when you're 24 in 11 months, do you not have one? Is it not really there? At what point complete is your brain at 24 and 11 months? Also, if your argument is that at 25 you got a complete brain formed, wouldn't that make you a smarter person who makes better decisions? Do you want a place where you get the blind lead in the blind? And let's not act like somebody who's under 25 years old cannot be a bad person and lead you in the wrong direction. You got plenty of predators and people that want to hurt you that's in high school. So, yeah, I don't really see the logic. But, you know, the funniest part about this, people like this actually vote. Their thought process makes all the sense in the world to them, just like voting for Zoran Mamdani. Hey, you know what? I think free buses and free this and free that make perfect sense. How are we going to pay for it? I don't know, man. It's just vibes, man. It's just, we're going to just figure it out. That's the mentality. So, yeah, I would think that having some smarter guys and girls on the interwebs who mean well, you know, benevolent figures, not those who mean you harm, not malicious figures, I think it'd do everyone a big service if that is on the internet. Because without those of us who are a little bit older and got our brain, you're going to get total slop, total and complete slop. Matter of fact, they're going to put an AI on the internet to make just random nonsense. And then that won't have any kind of age because it'd be artificial. So what are you going to say then? How does that really work? But anyway, I digress. I got a couple more here that I wanted to show. This was from the rant about Planet Fitness. Not Planet Fitness, pardon me, Gold's Gym. Now I want to show the first one because there's a whole lot of cussing in it. Matter of fact, I can show it. Let's show the first one. If you guys have not seen my video, this kind of went viral on social media. And it encapsulates a lot of what I say about these kind of people going into private spaces and victimizing women. All right, so here we go right here. I got it censored on my page.
Gold's Gym! Men! Grown men with big in the women's locker room! And that's why I'm getting kicked out. And I want to me naked in front of a man without my permission. I'm the one who gets kicked out the gym, y'all. I'm terminated for not wanting men in the locker room.
All right. Now, before we get into the situation, and that this is a man right here. That is the man who identifies as a woman in the women's locker room. Before we get into what he's going to say for himself, let's just talk about what we saw. Now, shout out to her. She is a singer. Her handle is Listen to Tish. Listen, the number 2, TISH on Instagram, I believe, and everywhere else. Twitter as well. You can find her. Shout out to her. She's lesbian. You could tell she's masculine. But just because somebody is a masculine lesbian, a strong-looking woman does not mean they're not a woman still. They're still a woman. I don't care if you're a big bull dagger, a little teeny, 85 pound, it don't matter. You're still a woman. You got big, strong men. You got small men, tall men. They're all men. This guy, he might be soft. He might be gay. I don't care. You're still a man at the end of the day. You should not be in a woman's private space. And this is what we said from the beginning about this whole thing about the bathrooms. Men like this are going to use that opportunity to be in women's private spaces without being labeled a predator, without getting in trouble.
Did you tell me or not that women like to see? I'm asking you a question. Exactly. Get out of the way now. No.
Hold on. Shout out to my Samoan homie stepping in.
Exactly.
Hey, shout out to my Samoan homie stepping in. All right, shout out to you.
Exactly. Get out of the way now. No. Now he knows how to be a man, right? Now he knows how to be a man. Stay out of the women's locker room. We don't want it. He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that. And the woman told you. He assaulted me. The girl told already. We already filed reports. No. That's fine. I want the video. You can't get rid of me for this. I'm a woman and I have every right to not want a man in the restroom when I'm naked. There are girls naked in there. Look at them walking in there like it's okay. It's not okay.
So there's more, but you get the idea of what's going on. And in the other part, she was like, you don't know what it feels like. One thing about women, feelings matter a lot. And you have to just acknowledge that, and it's okay. She felt like she's being violated. One thing about a lot of, can I say this without really getting defensive? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it because whatever. A lot of your LGBT people, which she's a lesbian, a lot of LGBT people were abused as children. They were touched inappropriately. So when you have a man in a locker room looking at her naked, she go right back to that place of being a little girl being touched by a man. Okay, that's because it's the same thing. You're violated as a child, and you're violated again as an adult. And when you're trying to speak out against a violation, people don't want to hear it. They don't want to believe it. So the feelings you feel as a result of that, I gotta be overwhelming. She was in the car, like basically crying. See, men like that, I hate. Men that take advantage of women, all in their spaces, violating women. Guys like that are the worst people in the world, which is why when they go to prison, they get immediately stomped out or they get deleted right away. Okay, you go into a cell with a guy, he been there his whole life. Like, he got life in there not coming home. You come in the yard, paperwork, let me see it. All right, minors assaulting women, you're going to get deleted right there in that cell. And normally they wouldn't even house a guy like that in a cell with a guy that's like not coming home. But sometimes they might do that because they don't like you. Yeah, go in there with him. Go in there with Bubba, and he gonna take care of you real nice. You won't. You as soon as you go in there, you be smeared all over the cell. So yeah, people like that I don't like, and this is why I've been campaigning against these kind of people. Your transformers, all in the woman's space. All right. Can I say something? Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of a turn. What I might end up doing is a stream about this kind of stuff separately at a certain point. Like, if I could find time in the week to do another stream, I'll do it. And I want to talk about like home improvement and physical fitness and stuff like this. So one thing I want to show as a preview of that kind of stream is about furniture. A lot of you guys are buying furniture over the interwebs. You buying furniture from some of the big box stores, and it's bad furniture. Particle board at best. You put a drink on it with no coaster, it'll ruin the whole thing. You got to get really good furniture, okay? And you can get good furniture still, like we had back in the day. But I'm going to just play this, and then I'm going to give my 2 cents on how to get that furniture, okay? You ready? All right. And let's just play this.
What happened to furniture? Furniture used to have class and dignity. It was something you passed down to future generations. Go look at your parents' bedroom set. It was made out of solid wood from Noah's Ark. If you tied it to railroad tracks, the train would be damaged. And they probably got it for free 50 years ago in a box of Cracker Jacks. Now you can't even have something for 5 years without it bursting back into particle board dust. We gotta buy it from Target or Amazon. I don't even know where a furniture store would be. Now you're probably thinking, well, Eric, you just buy cheap shit. That's not true. It's actually really difficult to find solid wood, high quality furniture, no matter what your budget is. Look at this. Restoration hardware table, $4,000, not even made out of real wood. So not only is it made out of shittier materials, but they can also cause cancer. Score. And we're being charged more for this luxury? Plus, why am I putting everything together? Do I look Amish? I don't know about you, but I feel better about something that I didn't put together myself. Like, I feel confident in this iPhone recording right now because Apple didn't just send me a bunch of parts I had to solder together. What happened?
Okay, now, first of all, you are buying cheap furniture. That's the bottom line. You're buying cheap furniture. If you buy particle board furniture online for like $4,000, you're just getting robbed. You're still buying cheap furniture. It don't cost that much for no particle board. I don't care how much it costs on Wayfair. I have solid wood furniture in my house right now. This is solid bamboo. This desk right here, solid bamboo. Okay, and it's about what? Probably about an inch thick, maybe about an inch and a half. Yeah, it's pretty thick too, all the way around, and it's like 72 inches. It's like super big. It's a big piece of equipment. The base of it is steel, solid steel. It's heavy. It's very heavy. You couldn't just lift it up like a pizza box. It's very heavy. I also have furniture all throughout my house that's solid wood. I got a solid wood curio cabinet, a solid wood like credenza, I guess you call that, in the front. I got a solid wood entertainment center, and I got a solid wood bed frame with 2 solid wood end tables, and I got a solid wood dresser. You got to go outside, bro. You got to go to a real furniture store, not online. You're not going to find this stuff online. Not really, because it's very heavy, and you got to have a team to come bring it in. Now, I like putting things together. I like assembling things. But what I'm talking about right here, you can't just get that sent by Amazon to your house. It's very heavy. You got to go to the furniture store. Go out in your environment and look. If you're living in the city somewhere, like a big city, they got furniture stores like that. But be ready, because you're going to spend some money. Hey, I got a solid wood kitchen table, 2 bands. I put it to you this way. To buy a kitchen table, a curio cabinet, a bed, a dresser, and 2 end tables, easily $10,000 to $15,000. But here's a good thing. It'll last forever. You can buy a particle board thing from Wayfair and get it sent to your house already damaged and pay $500, $1,000, and it's already damaged. It ain't gonna last for more than 2 or 3 years, 5 years max. So if you keep buying stuff like that, how much are you gonna spend over that period of time? And how much of that time will it spend in a state of distress or disrepair? It's going to come damaged. My stuff, it's impenetrable. There's no way that I could ever really break this. I had this desk for I don't know how many years. It looks still brand new. Taylor says you're going to spend at least $20,000 to furnish house with that stuff. It's expensive. It costs a lot, but you can find it, and it's going to last forever. That's the thing. My furniture, I've had it since I moved into this house right here. It's been 5 years. Perfect condition. If I got something from Amazon, look, I'll tell you what. I went on Amazon one time to get something small for my laundry room. I wanted to get an organizer. Now, it wasn't even Amazon. It was Home Depot. They got some prefab stuff in there, some particle board stuff. I got it home. It was already damaged. Then went to Amazon and got one. It was the same thing, already damaged. Now, if I build my own furniture, because you can do that still, you only got to buy furniture. You could build it yourself. You could go to Home Depot, get the wood yourself, get some nice, decent level wood, not necessarily super hardwood from California, not necessarily. You could build something better with Douglas fir, 2x and paint than you would get from Amazon online and pay not that much money. It's not going to be as high quality as a hardwood and it's beautiful, but it will still get the job done. So when I build my organizer, it'd be kind of like basic wood, not too major, because it's going to be for storage. But for my actual pieces, that's going to last forever, oh yeah, solid hardwood. Anyway, oh yeah, I will pass it down to my kids and everybody, Rebel Without a Reason, for sure. I will pass it down because it's going to last forever. It ain't going to be like it'll be broken a year. It'll last forever. It was expensive, but it's an investment that's going to last for a long time. It's like buying a house. It's expensive, but you can live in your house for 30 years or however long you're going to live there, and you can sell it later. The pieces I have are also still very valuable. When you buy some particle board stuff from Amazon, it's not valuable at all. Right when you buy it, it's invaluable. But what I have is still very valuable. It'll go for a lot of money on the open market, for sure. I don't have any kids. We were just saying an if scenario. Paige says, have I seen people building with pallets you get from warehouses, stock rooms? I've seen that. Hey, because I saw a pallet out here recently, I almost took it in somebody's front yard, but I'm like, nah. But I would do that. You could take a pallet and just cut it up and build with that. Yeah, I would do that all day long, for sure. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Garage sales is a good place. That's right for our mission, because sometimes people just want to get rid of stuff. I've given away stuff. I gave away a leaf blower. I gave away a wheelbarrow that was kind of janky. I just give away stuff just on GP. So at a yard sale, especially an estate sale, go to an estate sale after somebody died or something like that, you'll see some good pieces out there. And get up early in the morning. If you see a sign that says yard sale, Saturday, 8 a.m., be there at 7:45. Hey, when my aunt and my grandma and my mom and them go to yard sales, it's like they about to go to work. You're going to be up, crack of dawn at the yard sale, going to see what they got. So yeah, to my man that was showing the bad furniture, you got to get offline, bro, because that ain't really where it's at. That ain't really where it's at. All right, let's get to some super chats. I'm going to get to a few calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Cowboy742 says pallets used to be made of, they used to be made from odd dimension stock oak. Good for making stuff. Not so much anymore. Yeah. Robert Without a Reason says, do I have a welder? Every man who likes to build things should have one. I don't, but I can. I can weld, but I don't have that equipment. All right, let's go to the supers here. Thank you to Apple, who says ABL, the 25th anniversary of 9/11 will be presided over by someone who was not affected by it. In fact, someone who cheered it. So disgusting. Hey, we're going to see how that works with Zoran in there. Thank you to Apple again, who says Mom Donnie, like Obama and Kamala, have nothing in common with the American experience. They did not grow up in the USA. They did not experience Halloween or senior prom. Their ancestors were not slaves. That's what I'm saying. It's like when you're here and you grew up here and you have roots here, it's different than if you just got here recently. And nothing against recent immigrants, but when you're talking about leading people, it's difficult to do that. It's like if I go to China, right, and I'm a legal immigrant and I call myself trying to be part of the Chinese Communist Party, is it going to happen? No, it's not. All right. Thank you to Whalers860, who says, been following for a long time. Just wanted to say you were doing a good job and love you, my good brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you to Bruce Rice, who says, ABL, I guess Reagan was right. One generation away, they forgot already. And I will never donate to New York for 9/11 ever again. They forgot. So shall I. Well, there you go. Thank you to Apu, who says, Virginia elects Jay Jones. Apparently, the voters did not care about his awful text. I don't want to ever hear about Republicans are hateful. Yeah. Hey, I don't want to hear about Trump grabbing by the you-know-what anymore if they went ahead and voted for Jay Jones with them crazy texts. I don't want to hear nothing at all ever again. Thank you to Bruce, who says, no problem too big, no issue too small for government. Does this fool know where he is at? Anti-American conservative. Thank you to Bruce Rice, who says, okay, now we want all the Democrats to vote to reopen the government, not just 5 of them. No shoes, no shirt, no dice. Thank you to Bruce, who says, U-Haul is that a threat? I'll be your Huckleberry. I can make you famous. Don't get bucked like a ball of hay if I can surf in the South Sudan. Okay. Thank you to Tony Hay Munkets, who says, Elon Musk employs people with the ideas he's come up with. People don't look at it that way, and they should. He takes responsibility and provides jobs to hundreds to thousands. Just one example. Exactly. They want to hate on Elon Musk for having money, for being successful, and they want to take from him. Meanwhile, he's giving to the public by providing jobs, by giving them tools they can use in their regular everyday life. He's contributing in a positive way to society, but they just want to take from him. That's not the way it should work. Thank you to Tony Hay Munkets, who says, hello, ABL. I miss your monitor. Shay, she's the best. You mean Sheree? Thank you to Taylor, who says, I get why Mom Donnie is bad, but at the end of the day, New York City is already a S-hole and can't get much worse than it already is. At least New York City can be an example. Thank you to Ben Deco, who says, the communist playbook is to force the rising of prices, then complain prices have risen as a means to seize production. Then you'll wait in lines since there's no incentive to produce. Please understand and research communism and then watch New York. Exactly. That's what's going to happen. You're right on point. Thank you to Commercial 91, who says, socialists think food grows in the grocery stores and capitalists just gatekeep. Exactly. That's what they think, right? Mauricio says, the Bible says if a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. Liberals are showing their Luciferian motives again. And thank you to Secretary Not Sure, great name, by the way, Idiocracy, a documentary, not a fictional movie, says, like those beautiful wood flags you have. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I love them as well. I got to get a new vendor. My man that made these just is not able to do it. I've been trying to find people to replace them, but people just want to do, they don't have enough. People can't do it at the volume I need. That's a great idea right there, business wise. If you're watching this video and you have the time to do woodworking and you got staff and you got the space, you got a wood shop. If you make these flags right here, you could print money. If I had the time, I'd do it. If I had the time, I would just build these. This is simple. This is basic, just cutting some wood up, sanding it. There's a machine that makes these stars and the numerals. You could just cut this piece of wood out right here as one big block. The 76 piece, the blue. Cut it out as one block, and then you could just use a machine to draw the stars and the 76 on it. Glue that onto a base of other wood, and then the pieces right here, just stain them, put them together, send them out, and that's it. And what I would do, if I also had time, was open the store where I sold them in the store. I have the wood shop in the back, bring them out to the front, and sell them right there. And I would have one in different cities. I'm giving out a free playbook to make money for you guys. If you want it, you can take it. Anyway, let's get to some calls. The number to call is 706-40. There it is. 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And the phone lines are on. But yeah, I would definitely, that'd be lawn care, junk removal, wood flags, anything like that I would do right now. If I had time, I would most certainly do that today. 818, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Power Ranger Rick.
All righty, what's happening?
I would like to talk about Zoran Mondani's moronics. It's going to be a problem for New York 100% because the Democrats are going to make America lose again. And that's what we have been having for years on out. So just like the failure of Biden's MO, Biden's omics, Bidenomics, Biden's omics, that is going to be a big problem. We can't even take care of the problems here in LA as an example because the cops are not doing their job. We could clean up the streets like within the year. I mean, being Democratic boo is a big problem. I think the Republicans should have won by a landslide. But, again, nothing against Zoran Mamdani. I think he's a good valedictorian. We kind of lost a good valedictorian to a Democratic boo losership. I think that's it.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Definitely appreciate him. Let's go to 859. Hold on. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going? It's your Luciferian Libertarian friend. I just got done eating on my break. Got myself a nice cheeseburger. You know, a little cheat meal. Normally, I don't eat cheeseburgers, but man, hey, I hit the spot, my brother.
Well, thank you for the call, man. What's going on?
Oh, thank you very much for answering my phone call, buddy. I was listening about this new governor, Mondani, who's trying to go and up in New York. He's a socialist, and you were talking about there's like all these you had the street interview saying they shouldn't have billionaires, they shouldn't have millionaires, and people who say that is like, you guys never ran a business in your lifetime. And I really want to ask that guy in an interview, said, have you ever ran a business? Like seriously, you know how much, because a lot of my family members have ran businesses. My uncle technically was a millionaire, but he wasn't exactly a millionaire, if you know what I'm talking about. All his money, 90% of his money was towards his car business and running the business and providing jobs. So if he was in New York, they would have taxed him out of poverty and created about another 40 homeless people. See, socialism doesn't work. It just ends up punishing people who are successful. Granted, is there billionaires and millionaires who are narcissistic buttheads? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's the same thing with any poor person or homeless person. Not everything's black and white. There's good and bad in everything. And the communists, and this is why I can never be a communist and never agree with them, they want to punish everybody successful, and they want to punish anybody who has any form of wealth, money, or any form of working themselves up. Not everybody who has money was born with money. And some people who have certain skills can provide for those skills. And not only that, they're reading the philosophy from Marx from a time period way before the Revolutionary War, and they're in a time period when the oligarchy ruled everything and capitalism. So, like, their ideology would not work in modern day.
Right on, for sure.
And not only that, they're asking for communism. That's kind of silly because after a while, everybody's forced to work to maintain the system, and there's no working class. So it would be a horrible over time. They don't realize that. It's like, I wonder why all these, Soviet soldiers are so muscular. Yeah, because they had to work in sweatshops for like hours on end. I don't necessarily. They think it's a free ride, but really it's not. It's really not, and it's really sad that they believe that. And it's kind of sad that we don't teach common sense, economics towards our young youth.
Yeah, it's really sad. They don't really know too much of anything.
Not at all, and they lose me on this. And that's the thing is, even when I was younger, I was very, very, very liberal when I was younger. But they could never get me on the whole tax thing because knowing my family have ran businesses before, that would not work. That would cause problems. That would cause problems in the economy. And it got to the point in 2016, I voted for Trump in 2016 because, like, guys from the left, their tax code is completely nonsensical. I can complain about the tariffs with Trump, but what they're doing in New York and socialism is like, oh boy, you're basically stripping away the working class people from and throw them in poverty for all these small businesses. They provide about 20 to 30 to 40 jobs in that area, and they're going to ruin that. It's sad. It's really sad. Hey, thank you very much for taking my phone call. Luciferian Libertarian out. I much appreciate it, man.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm about to start my own little store here where I live at, and I'm going to have my own like vape store. Very much appreciate it. Hopefully you come by sometime, ABL. Much love to you, bro.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
No problem, bro. Bye.
All right, someone for the call. Great call. Let's go to, I'm speaking to 917 on the line.
Hey, ABL. It's Corinne from NYC.
All righty, what's going on? How are you feeling right now after the election results?
Oh, my God. ABL, this is not good. But you know what? I was emotionally preparing myself for this because the Zoran flyers and everything, it reminded me of when the Bernie thing, Bernie Bros, like everybody wearing the Bernie gear and that age range, like just real young know-nothings, running around with a Bernie hat and a Bernie shirt and Bernie right on the window. It was like that vibe, and I kind of was like suspected. I was like, here we go. It's that energy of the Bernie. Not as much because Bernie was crazy popular, but yeah, people were really feeling him. I don't get it. They're just young, I guess, inexperienced.
Yeah, they don't really get it. They a lot of them, when you ask them, hey, why do you like Zoran? Oh, he had a pretty smile on TikTok. It's like, see, that right there,
Oh, Lord.
that just tells us how much they actually know, which is nothing.
You know what? I didn't even bother asking anybody having those little type of man on the street conversations because I knew it would be like that because they just looked dumb. They got the Zoran, they walking around with the door tag thing that you put on the doorknob, walking around with that. Just weird, acting like they don't know anything. And so anyway, I kind of figured they were doing a hard push for Zoran in a lot of the, what do you call, affluent yuppie areas like Park Slope. It was hardcore flyers everywhere for Zoran, mostly northern Brooklyn for Zoran. I live close to Barclay Center. It was kind of a mix over there with the messaging, but Park Slope, when you go to lower Brooklyn area, that was a push for Curtis Sliwa. There were a lot of signs and messaging for him, like in Sheepshead Bay, Mill Basin, Bensonhurst, like over there. And then I'm surprised when you mentioned those numbers for African American, because whenever I was walking around predominantly black areas in Brooklyn, not in the city, but predominantly black areas, they have a lot of Cuomo messaging up, talking about give Cuomo a chance, let's go with Cuomo. I ran into a girl and a guy standing out of a McDonald's handing out Cuomo flyers on election day.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. So I was a little surprised by those high numbers from African Americans, but I guess I do believe that age range, though, that young age range, they just don't get it. They don't understand. So, yeah, I was preparing myself for this because the Zoran thing there was a push on it. It was messaging for him everywhere with that big phony smile. But yeah, I'm pretty not feeling it. I'm just trying to take it in. It's really not good. And other than that, I wanted to bring up, it kind of brought me back to when Bernie was running, and I was so happy when Bernie didn't win because that terrified me with that Bernie thing. But this is, I guess, what it would have felt like. I don't know. When you were bringing up the lady, the lesbian that was getting in that guy's face,
yeah,
the bathroom, yeah, good for her. I'm glad she was vocal about that because this is not. Yeah, they have a lot of this stuff going on in a lot of the restaurants here. Not as much as it was in 2020, and when they were doing that weird when they first brought up that bathroom stuff. People have reverted back, and now they're clearly the bathrooms say male, female. It's like they figured it out. People don't like it, especially the women. They don't like it. So it's like none of this weirdness with a question mark over the bathroom or no signs. It's like it's clear again now. But I did notice like sometimes when you're in some sort of restaurant, there will be a man that randomly tries to walk up in there, and it's like you feel uncomfortable, and a few ladies want to say something, but I don't know if they feel confident enough to say something. So it's like you just feel weird. So I like that lady was vocal about it and just put it out there. I don't understand why people don't get this. Women don't want a man in their bathroom. You just don't want that. It's a space where you're removing things and you're very vulnerable and exposed, and I'm not interested in you being in there. No offense, I wouldn't want to be in their bathroom. I would stay out of their space. So if they could just stay out of our space, I really like seeing that video.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. Right on.
Yes. And also you mentioned the good wood and old fashioned wood and the quality of it. I do remember as a child, there were a lot more of those little wood shops, cute little wood shops in Brooklyn. I would walk by with my dad and just wander in there, and I loved looking at the real quality wood tables and bookcases, and you don't see those anymore. They were really nice, just little shops, and they had a woodworking area in the back or downstairs, and then they would sell random pieces, bookcases, little end tables, chairs. You don't really see that as much, and it was really nice and charming, so I missed that.
Exactly. We need to bring that back. There needs to be a bunch of these little shops and, just around so you can get some good quality stuff rather than a lot of this prefab, China, just random nonsense.
Yeah, it is nonsense. It's bad quality. It's just disposable stuff. But yeah, my mom and dad did have a few pieces like that, and my great aunt, and it was quality stuff. The armoires, it was real big, huge furniture pieces that I don't even know how it got in there. It was beautiful. So that's stuff that you hand down. This stuff that people buy now, yeah, this is nothing to hand down through generations.
Right on.
All right. Well, just wanted to call in to say hello. Thank you, ABL, for the show. And you keep it going with the calls. Have a good night.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Let's keep rocking here. Let's go to 215 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. How's it going?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
So just before we start talking, can you hear me loud and clear?
I hear you well.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, remember Tiffany Henyard? When's the last time you heard about Tiffany Henyard?
It's been a while.
Yeah, because I know it's been a while for me too, because I just realized a couple days ago, I was like, wait a minute, I just realized they haven't talked about Tiffany Henyard in God knows how long. It's been what? It's been almost a few months now.
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, close to a while. But I heard this Zoro Mamdani dude, I guess he won the election.
He did.
That's what I figured. And honestly, I'm not surprised because he seemed like he was like the Donald Trump of New York City. And he managed to popularize socialism. And basically, from what I've heard, if I have this correct, he basically just advertised free stuff, lower cost of living, because a lot of people, because New York City is expensive to live in. And New York City, everybody's going through hard financial times, and the economy hasn't improved yet. He just placated to that.
Yeah, I mean, the things he's talking about is just, it's all fantasy. It's all fantasy, and it can appeal to people that feel like there should be something done. But when they actually get the policy enacted, it's not going to be what they anticipated.
Yeah, and it's like we've had a few guys at our job, like college age guys, try to lecture us about saying socialism is good, and some average people they couldn't really define a definition of socialism, but it's like we know it's bad because look at all the other immigrants that's fleeing their countries to flee socialism. Their country's going through socialism, and they're flooding here to America where there's no socialism. That's a prime example. So I said to him, just because we don't know the exact definition of socialism doesn't mean we don't know that it's bad. I mean, it may sound a little idiotic to say that, but you get where I'm coming from?
I understand what you're saying. It's like, okay, people are coming to America to escape socialism. So why would we want what they escaped? Because if we wanted that, we can go to their country. And then also, if you know where these people came from who are trying to leave socialism, who are trying to escape it, we could just go to where they are and see it for ourselves. We can actually, you know, go to some of these former Soviet places and see how well communism actually was.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, well, here's another thing I told him. He said that basically because the other countries, they didn't do socialism right. That's why it failed over there. They didn't do it right. And another guy asked him, well, what's the right way to do it?
Exactly. And there's never an answer because it cannot be done right. It's never going to be done right because it doesn't work.
Yeah, pretty much. And and it's like at our job, we have a lot of college age guys that constantly try to lecture us about this and that. But it's like, I had to kind of put one of them in their place. It's like, listen, you guys lack life experiences. I'm 30 years old. You guys don't have any life experience as far as when it comes down to that. Maybe you guys may be book smart, which is good, but as far as life experience, y'all don't have that. So you can't really lecture us about something that most people have experienced, have lived through.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and I think that they're just getting that from the college professors and whatnot, and then they keep trying to make the argument saying, well, I feel this, I feel that. I said, facts don't care about feelings.
That's right.
Yeah. But thanks for taking my call, ABL. You have a good night.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. But yeah, man, listen, the people out there in New York who voted for Mamdani, they need to experience it because they don't really understand what socialism is. They don't understand what communism is. They think that it sounds good that they'll be able to get all these free things. They think that it sounds good that the so-called poor people will be able to get all these so-called free services, but it just don't work like that. And they got to just see for themselves. They got to see for themselves, and it's okay. It is okay. Now, to those who are in New York and you did not vote for this, my prayers go out to you. My prayers go out to you. I don't know what y'all going to do. Y'all got to, tough it out or leave. I'm seeing people say they're going to go to Florida. They said they're going to go here. They're going to go there. We'll see. Who am I speaking to? 437 on the line. Hello, 437. What's going on?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, it's funny how the left wing nuts ways come back to haunt them and chickens come home to roost. Their side encourages for people to share the bathroom, and now you can see clearly that some of them don't like to have competition in the same bathroom.
That's right. Absolutely.
The chickens came home to roost. You reap what you sow. They dig their ditch and they jumped into it because they have a reprobate mind. If they continue to live in denial, illogical, delusional, and follow foolishness with a willing heart of feelings instead of facts, truth, reality, which is the opposite side of that they're on. They're on the side of all those demonic, paganistic, Luciferian things, as weird as it may sound. This is what happens to them. They build their castle upon sand, like a sand castle. And in no time, after all the hoopla is over, it gets swept away. It bites them right in their backside, as always.
Of course.
And communism, if you pay closer attention to history, it never works historically. And those who do not pay close attention or understand history will never know the human cycles of human nature. and communism never works. That's why all those people run away from those countries. But this hidden covert reason why they run to our country is some of them are infiltrators, whether it's be from China or wherever. They come to steal our ideas. They lie to get in with fake qualifications, claiming to be rocket scientists, doctors, and engineers. But they can't drive. It's like they're driving with their eyes shut tight. They steal our jobs, lowering the standards, and they only hire each other. You're only going to see after it's too late. That's the only time you're going to understand, some of you out there. I'm sorry for Brooklyn. I'm sorry for New York. I love my New York. And when I see these people come in, if y'all don't understand what's going to happen, by the time you realize it's going to be too late. Just like what happened to Colombia, Venezuela, or any other communist country under Mao, under Stalin, under any one of them. It sounds all groovy when you teach little kids you can get on the train and the bus for free. Then they expect it after they're 16 years of age, when they're all in their 20s saying that they're only 13. It's ridiculous. It's building and cultivating attitudes of entitlement. And when you bring the third world, you get the third world. When you bring the third world and invite the third world, I'm not saying you and I or the citizenry do, but under dictatorship, when they bring in the third world, you get the third world results. Because they bring their cockroaches and their stinking habits and attitudes of entitlement with them. They destroy anywhere they look with their eyes of calamity. Anywhere they look. I want, gimme, hookah booga. I said, why you want this? She goes, because I want. But why? Because I want. Well, wait your turn. But instead they get luxury hotels, 5-star luxury hotels at your expense, flights to anywhere they want. They hit the jackpot. Can I come to your country and say, hey, bring me to your version of Disneyland. Put me up in your mad hotels. Can I do that? No. Touching for free. You touch, you buy, is what we hear. Come at my store. There's no library. You can't look in magazine. Shibalo. That's what we hear. It's a double standard. They take, and they mash up everything they touch. And by the time they're done with you, they go to the next unsuspecting country to recycle and damage everything again. People don't learn. Europe's in trouble. Ireland's fighting back today. Now they're learning. When I spoke about these things 20 years ago, I got people looking at me with blank stares. Now they understand. Like you said, New York may have to learn the hard way. I would never tell New Yorkers to retreat. I would say stay and kick them out.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
And shout out to O'Hare and Mr. Rebel without a who knows what. Whatever that name is.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you for sure. All right, shout out to my man for the call. All right, that's, hey, you guys, I tell you, you guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. You guys are the best. I appreciate y'all. All right. I got a little bit of time left, which I know, it's almost that time to wrap it on up, put the bow on top. All right. Hey, you guys are funny in the chat. I'm reading the chat sometimes when the calls are going, and you guys always got some funny stuff to say in the chat. So shout out to y'all. All right. Is that a wrap for me? I think that's a wrap for me. I will be back live on Saturday, same bat time, same bat place at 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm live on the Instagrams on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Shout out to you guys who were there last night. I appreciate y'all for that. And I'm here pretty much every day putting out my pre-recorded content. Sunday through Sunday. I'm here every day doing something, whether it's long form, short form, whatever, all the forms. I got you. All right. Now, before I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Thank you guys for watching, retweeting, super chatting. Whatever you do, I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the moms for keeping them trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. This is also an audio streaming podcast. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite, just visit your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And you know what I might do? I might put up my Instagram stream as a audio podcast as well. I could do that. I could just download it and then convert it and then throw it up there. So if you guys want that, y'all let me know. If you guys want the Instagram live stream as a podcast, because it could be kind of like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It depends on how long I go. So I might do that as well, just on GP. So you have them both audio only. Shout out to the truckers and everybody that can't watch video all the time and they want on in the background. I'll give you an audio version of the Instagram live as well, which is every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. I think I got everybody, didn't I? So yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to the mod. Shout out to everybody. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.